Okay, hello Internet. Welcome back to another session of Return to the Dales.
Hey everyone, great to have you along. And here we are finding ourselves in Westgate, an independent city-state that sits on the southwestern edge of the Sea of Fallen Stars of the Inner Sea. Westgate is a notorious haven for criminal families. It's an absolute hive of wretches, of criminals, of thieves and murderers, pirates, and unscrupulous merchants. It's widely thought to be subjected to a plague of vampires, an infestation of vampires. And those in the know talk of the control of the Night King, whose identity is unknown, but appears to be the only individual for centuries who has been able to bring Westgate to heel. It's always been an independent city-state with various noble families, criminal families, vying for power and attempting to maintain a delicate balance. But the Night King has allegedly crushed that balance and is thought to now rule unopposed. His word being law. Now we have come here in search of an individual named Jaral. Jaral is a harper connected to the Crown of Cormier, and he is a man who knows everything. He's a gatherer of intelligence, a master spy. And here in this heart of darkness in Westgate, we hope to locate him. My understanding is that we're here on the behest of the Cormyrian crown. The Cormyrians have had a lot of trouble infiltrating Westgate, even though it's really close to Cormyr, just across the sea. But the nefariousness of the domain, the danger involved, the corruption, the criminality, all of this has made what intelligence has been gathered unreliable, and agents who are sent here fall to the corruption or die trying to resist it. We've discovered for ourselves just how notorious a place this can be. We spotted a villainous man leading children into a warehouse where they would be preyed upon by blood-sucking vampires. We spotted bodies getting dumped in the harbour. And we encountered Cyclone, the famous storm giant arena champion, professional gladiator, and we convinced him to quit his career since he was out promoting an alternative lifestyle to what's regular in Westgate, a wholesome lifestyle, encouraging children to stay away from corrupt activities such as drugs, such as violence, and to continue with an education to get a regular steady job and to raise 2.3 children behind a white picket fence. And we convinced Cyclone that he is the one working for corruption. His managers are the blood sucking leeches, and he is nothing more than a hypocrite for being this almighty warrior of moral values in a city that is rotten to the core. And so he has been convinced to retire, but not without his swan song. He intends to find um, a rival to go out with a bang. One last big, great fight, a retirement fight that will no doubt be the talk of town, the talk of Westgate for many months to come. On the trail of Jaral, we lodged into the Mermaid's Bosom, a harbourside and fancy inn that caters towards, well, I suppose caters towards merchants and pirates with a little more scruples than average. Indeed, it is a Harper aligned bar, and there we have been talking to Cody, a halfling surfer who seems way out of his depth in this sinister city. Apparently, a relatively nice guy. And as far as we have noticed, someone who has thus far resisted the corruption endemic in this city. But it just might be because he's not worth noticing. Um, he's fawning all over us for we are the sort of people that he would like to be. Um, and his usefulness is very dubious, very much in question. But he is our only link to Jural, and if it means dealing with this um, incompetent drug addict, then we've got to advance our agenda somehow. And if this is the only way, then so be it. All right, so there we are. Some of us have gone to the market. Westgate's markets are both cheap and plentiful. Um, Everything under the sun is available here, and a few things that the sun will never see as well. Obviously, a thriving slave market, obviously, a massive drugs and arms trade, and perhaps more relevant to us, a great deal of interest in magic items, and a number of people willing to accept mineral wealth as a form of payment. So those of you who are still interested in doing some shopping will consult both the Sane Magic Items prices and the Discerning Merchants Guide. You can take either of those books, find the cheaper price out of the two, double it, and that's what stuff is available here for purchase. If you're looking to sell things, any item that you already have that has a listed value, you can sell it for a quarter of that value. If you have an item that doesn't have a listed value, like a normal ring of protection or something, then again you can find the lower price in those two books and halve it, and get half of what the offering price is instead of paying double the offering price is. So you're selling for a quarter of what you would pay, but that's the nature of the magic item trade. In a way, you're lucky to find a trade at all. It's not everywhere sells magic items, but certainly in Westgate they are widely available. The darker, the more sinister, the more likely it is to be found here. So, Holy Avengers. If you do find a Holy Avenger, a sword used by Paladin, it's almost certainly been pried from the dead hands of a Paladin who fell foul to the machinations of this sinister city. So there we are. Some of us are out there in the markets looking for a bargain. Others are back at the Mermaid's Bosom, waiting to meet with Jural. Still others might be engaging in other pursuits, whether trying to find the arena for entertainment or talking to these hot sea elves who have turned up looking for uh, uh, some boys to hang out with, or any number of other entertainments, most likely unwholesome. But wholesome entertainments can be found too, they're just much rarer. So, here we are. What would we like to do?
Firstly, if it's all right, what's his name? Artisan would like to buy metals and such to be able to build this great machine, and try to head back.
All right, so you're all the way back in Cormier, in Suzail. You've manufactured a number of war machines, and you're just leaving the war machines there in Cormier, and you're going to head to Dagger Falls.
Oh no, I thought I was still here. I was going to buy metals because they're probably in surplus here.
Oh, did you come to Westgate? Yeah, I'm not even sure what your character was doing, so that's fine. You can certainly be here in Westgate, and yeah, the metal is definitely widely available here at the standard market price. So like, let's not worry too much about weights, because the economics in D&D is pretty flawed. So you can decide whether you're buying 1,000 gold pieces worth of steel or 10,000 gold pieces worth or whatever, and exactly what that means, we'll work out in the future. Just but if you're buying 10,000 gold pieces worth, it costs you 10,000 gold pieces. You get an average deal.
Yeah, I do iron because we still haven't used any of the timber that we got as a reward. So have the timber and make steel with the carbon.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Like, no worries. Iron, steel, same thing. Whatever. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, iron's 1 SP while steel is 4 GP, and he can make it himself. So why not?
Yeah, well, like I said, don't worry about those economics. Just buy a certain value's worth of the product, and we'll work out exactly what that means later. Because the economics in D&D it sucks. It's completely bullshit, and it should widely be ignored. Yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, honestly, in often cases, like, let's take adamantine for example. A pound of adamantine costs like 1,500 gold pieces. A suit of adamantine armor costs like 1,000 gold pieces. So somehow, 70 pounds of manufactured adamantine is cheaper than a single pound of raw adamantine. What? Yeah, okay, whatever.
That's dumb.
It's extremely stupid. Like, they have no concept of economics, or at least they didn't apply any concept when they made fifth edition. So don't worry about it. Just get a certain gold piece value worth of whatever, whether it's iron or steel, I don't care, and you'll have that amount of value of iron or steel.
All right. I think the
Yeah.
amount that I buy would be up to the party. I would honestly like maybe 20,000 worth to make as much as possible, but I can do 10,000 or so depending on what the party says. Since this is beneficial to the whole party, if it's all right, I would just like to do a little more.
Because I think I'm at the moment, I'm at the point of like we shouldn't be spending pretty much any money because we need it for the army.
I don't think we even have 20,000 gold.
We have 49,303 raw gold pieces in party wealth right now. And that was after we sold everything and what the person who's not here.
Sirloin.
Sirloin. Yeah, Sirloin did all the math at the end, and we ended up with 49,303 GP in gold alone. That's not selling some of our stuff.
Yeah, there's not actually a lot of gold, though. Considering we're going to have to pay nearly 62,000 for the army when we get to there. Basically, we spend more than what we have. We then have to like do a mad rush to get loads of gold to pay the army.
I thought we had enough to whatchamacallit?
Yeah,
they had enough to fund the war already.
We have enough money for 2 months of war. I mean, it just depends. Like, do you think we could take Tediamar and the other place in 2 months?
I think so. They're really close together, and one of them we're going to have to help with the druids at the sand fort, the one that's above ground.
I'm just saying, I just don't think it's worth the risk.
Do you guys want to get the tanks that will store all of our food and water that we'll need for the entire trip?
I mean, I suppose
as well as
if we have tanks and no army, I suppose we'll have enough food anyway.
Well, they have cargo holds in them that can hold 2 tons. So how much would the party want to invest in making these? We already purchased the blueprints and everything last week, saying that we would do this. But
So I thought it was like a longer term thing than immediately.
well, it does take time to make these, so he has to get the materials up front. These are giant pieces of equipment. What is it? 85 by 105 feet. Give me a number. I really don't care. Or give me 0 and we won't have them and he'll just stay here. And we spent the 7,000 to get the blueprints for nothing.
Well, I mean, we still have the blueprints.
Yeah, but we won't have time to make anything to use them.
Well, if you can make something, make it. Like, that's the whole concept of you doing this, right? So whatever you can make in time. If you take the blueprints up back to half and you start forging, what can you make? I guess that's time. It's a math problem, not a desire problem.
Yeah, I'm talking about the metal to do it. Where I'm trying to purchase the metal to do it.
How many can you make in the time?
That depends on time. We have a team of 15 artificers that we're working with artisan. So I think considerably fast, just with how big this thing is. And it's not like we're talking about a nuclear submarine. It's steampunky.
Well, I think you should just determine what that is and then determine how much materials you need to buy and to support that.
How
It's
many
really difficult
thousand
to tell.
worth of iron?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I don't know. It's really difficult to tell, and it's hard to just make up a number on the spot. But maybe if you have 10,000 gold pieces worth, then you know that'll keep you going for a while. Maybe it'll be enough. Maybe it won't. Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking to make 2 to 4, if possible.
So you want 40,000 gold pieces? Like as I said, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Haven't really thought about it. But look, an experimental submarine is not going to come cheap. It's not going to come cheap at all. In fact, it's going to likely to be an incredibly expensive venture.
The diggers and the land bugs, not the submarine.
Right. Well, yeah. So that's probably a little bit better, a little bit cheaper. But it's still experimental technology, and like I think anyone who is familiar with research and development knows that the prototype always costs fuck tons more than the product. Like the first Tesla or SpaceX rocket or whatever is an incredibly expensive venture, and it's not until you get to economies of scale that it starts to pay off. So yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great venture, but I can't give you a price because you're not going to know the price, and I haven't thought about it either. But consider it to be an extremely expensive venture.
And I guess it just goes, what's more important, investing in one of these or paying another month's salary? So,
Well, the problem we were having was how we were going to get enough food and water for the army. I think this would solve it from the onset,
But I think,
instead of having to scavenge along the way.
but this is an unknown quantity of gold, time, and effort. Like maybe we just buy carts instead, if that's the case.
How about 10,000 for now and see how it goes? If there's more iron, maybe we can commission some dwarves to mine it. More iron needed.
well, I think you could just go up and try to make it and roll the dice. Hopefully, the dice rolls go well for you, and you can get one cooked by the end 3 months.
Yes, so is 10,000 all right for that? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Can he have 10,000 gold pieces? This is the question. You know,
Yeah.
you don't.
And it's
No
for the
one
whole-
knows if 10,000 gold pieces is going to do the whole job, or if it's going to be a single drop in the ocean. We don't know. So basically, what we're asking is, will we gamble 10,000 gold pieces?
Flightless is the banker with Sirloin.
Why am I?
Well, you and Sirloin carry the stuff, so
I suppose 10,000 is better than like how. Than was it 30,000 you asked to begin with? So I guess we could try that then.
All right. Sounds like the decision is made. You can deduct 10,000 gold pieces from the party wealth and trade it for, you know, in the same party wealth thing, 10,000 gold pieces of steel.
It would be iron.
Roger.
Since it's just like, even though the pricing's he might as well use the timber that we have.
Yep, sure. Yeah, and steel is more than 90% iron anyway, so.
I put 10k GP gold instead of iron.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. It must be a bit like droopy today.
Cool.
An artisan will be on the ship, just heading back and do that.
That ship's not heading back until we're heading back anyway. You know, we've only got one ship, so the ship's going to be waiting for us in any case, unless we, you know, buy our own ship, 50,000 gold pieces.
No,
how long is the
find
trip?
alternative arrangements.
We're going
I think it's about 15 days or something. I think it was.
Okay.
I can't remember. Might have only been 7 or 8 days actually.
I think it was closer to 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think it was 15 on the galleon and 7 or 8 on the cutter, and we ended up getting a cutter.
Yeah, because we came here to investigate that guy on why Vaughn came to speak to him about the missing heir.
Yeah.
Okay. Then artisan will be sitting in whatever inn or tavern that we're staying at, or whatever, and just working on making this work on paper.
Excellent.
The whole time.
Excellent. Making up scale models and stuff. All right. So that's that sorted out. What's next? What are we interested in here?
we're just waiting for that dude to come back.
All right. Cool.
I guess Flightless will sort of stake out the area, waiting for his return with, you know, changing out his disguise whenever, like every so often, to make sure that, you know, it doesn't look like he's hanging around.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So yeah, we wait all day for Cody to return. And it does take all day. During that time, people come and go from the mermaid's bosom. The sea elf girls get progressively more drunk, progressively more flirty, and the atmosphere here in this place is jovial. It's quite good. It doesn't have the sinister edge that most of Waterdeep, or most of Westgate does. But it's still got all the fun of like a college party, a college bar. So at night time, the halfling returns. He's ready to meet with you, but he's real, paranoid. Don't like surprises, so he's kind of, I don't know, a little bit worried about what you might do. He kind of doesn't want you to take any weapons when you meet him. So if you could leave your weapons and armor behind, that'd be great, man.
I guess Flightless will nod, and then I guess
That's a non-starter for Moog.
yeah. Actually, we still have the thing with the. What's it? Where is it? Yeah, with the telepathic bond, well, I can go. You can hold my weapons.
All right. All right. So yeah, everyone's cool with leaving weapons and armor behind,
Nope.
or no,
Nope.
you're not going.
Nope. I tell
Yep, cool.
the halfling that the halfling is going to be at the bottom of the canal if the friends don't come back.
I'm not going either. I'm just going to stay at the Rich Tavern.
Sure. And I
I'm going
guess
back
where are you going? Sorry.
to the boat.
Yeah. Yep. Sure. Yeah. No worries. And Lady Eleanor will either stay at the boat or stay at the Mermaid's Bosom, whatever.
Yeah, well, whatever.
works.
If Lady Eleanor stay at the bosom, I stay at the bosom with her. But that's whatever. We're not going to break up alone, but that's the plan.
Yeah. Sure. Hey man, like it's got nothing to do with me. I'm just like the messenger boy. Don't kill me, man.
Your fish
Do
food if they
anything.
don't come back. Plain and simple. You've been warned.
Oh well, all right then. You can trust Jarrell. He's one of the good ones. All right.
Yeah, I'm just looking for my shield so I can unequip it.
So the only person who's going to meet with Jarrell can't talk.
Yes.
That's problematic.
I've got my list of words.
All right. All right. Well, he leads you out a back door of the Mermaid's Bosom and into a sewer. And he starts taking taking Flightless through this sewer with its rats and its spiders and its derelicts. There are some of the poorer citizens live down here, trying to escape the wrath of life above the surface. And you travel through this labyrinth, hoping that you don't get lost. What's your insight? What's your passive insight? What's your base insight score?
Oh, my base insight is 13.
Yeah, so it's not great. So make an insight check to see if you can,
Oh, wait.
remember how to get back.
Would passive insight be 10 plus your number?
10 plus.
Oh yeah,
10
23.
plus. Yeah. In that case, you're not going to get lost in here. It's a complex labyrinth that you're winding through, but you're not gonna forget. So, Lady Eleanor, since you're here, the party has been told by Cody, by this halfling drug addict, that he knows how to find Jarrell, and Jarrell is ready to meet with you. That's the Harper spy. But he's insisting that we go unarmed and unarmored. And so that's put Moog out, straight up. And Finnick is not really that interested anyway. So at the moment we only have Flightless because Pyro Artisan rather is working on the drill plans.
And I guess armor off, but he's still got the robot because that doesn't provide any defense.
Yeah. Unarmed and unarmored, you say? Well, that didn't go very well for us last time with the dragon. And where are we meeting exactly?
Don't know, but he's taking us into the sewers.
Yeah, I have to say, it just seems a little foolish.
I suppose through the telepathic bond, Flightless like, well, I'll be alone if you don't come along.
Yeah, because Flightless is going, I'll be going. I'm not gonna let him go alone. but I will note that it does seem a little foolish.
So the rest is like, I guess, tapping his head, like the rest will know if something happens.
True. I'm so sorry I'm late. I bloody slept through my alarm. Ended up
No worries.
sleeping.
Oh,
Pretty
good man.
tiring time for this time of year.
Alright, so yeah, I will accompany Flightless despite the terms, because I'm not going to let him go alone.
All right. So you wind your way through past the rats and the bones and the derelicts and everything else that's down here in these seawater sewers. The water flushing in with high tide and flushing out again with low tide. It's a kind of a self-maintaining sewer, which means that the maintenance is up to shit because nature doesn't do a very great job of flushing it out. Up to shit, quite literally. Whatever. But it doesn't look like Flightless is getting lost. He seems to be memorizing the path, and if something should happen to Cody or if a betrayal should unfold, then hopefully you can rely on Flightless to backtrack and get us back to the mermaid's bosom. And so you wander through this labyrinth complex. Cody occasionally has to stop to pick locks to open up grates and remove them, and occasionally you have to fight off otagus and crocodiles and other monsters that would be very challenging for common thieves trying to get a break in this city. But for us, they're little more than speed bumps. Was there a comment or a question?
Nah, it's just me yawning.
Right. Very good. And eventually it opens up into a dry part of the sewer, and you're underneath a toilet. All right, I think we're here. Hey, Gerald. Hey, Gerald, it's Cody. I've got him here. I got the explorers, and like you said, they're unarmed and they look like they're ready to negotiate, man. You wait for a moment, and a rope ladder throws itself down the toilet. And this is not a modern plumbing style toilet. This is just a drop straight into the sewer, which is about as sanitary as toilets get in this era. But it's fairly dry here. It's fairly clean. So if this guy actually uses the shitter, then there's no evidence of it. There's no human waste here. So maybe it's nothing more than a decoy. And whatever the case, a rope ladder is thrown down the privy hole. And Cody looks at you and says, ladies first.
As you wish. I start climbing up. I can't help but
All
cringe
right.
a little bit at the circumstances of climbing up through a toilet.
Indeed. And perhaps straight into an ambush, unready and unequipped.
Quite possibly.
But that doesn't appear to be the case. You climb up into a rather bare bathroom. There's a copper bathtub that is turning green with age. A complete lack of any sort of decorations here. Mildew on the stone walls. You're in a basement, a stone basement, like a cellar maybe. And in the corner, on a stool, in a room that has virtually no furniture, save for a handful of stools and some rickety tables, is an old man, of maybe 60, 70, 75. The hood covers most of his body. He wears robes that give him the appearance of a hedge wizard. But his grey beard helps to add to that allure, making him look not unlike a classic mage. So I see that you have come to Westgate looking for answers. I have heard of your exploits in Daggerdale and beyond, and I must say, you have been very active. Are you Harpers, or are you merely doing the work of Harpers?
Merely doing the work of Harpers. Greetings.
Yes, I would not consider myself a harper. And as far as I'm aware, the rest of our number are not officially harpers either.
Well, you have earned my trust and my respect with all that you have done. I was a resident of Daggerdale a long time ago, under a different name, under a different guise, and I see you as something of an inheritor of my legacy. So, uh, I am at your disposal. Tell me, how can I help?
And just whip out the letter that makes reference to him, so I can remind myself of what exactly I want to ask.
Yeah.
Letter to Vaughan in Discoveries and Records.
Here we go. Letter Vaughan. Heard from Gerald your visit to Westgate. May claim. Right, so
From this letter, we found Vaughan went to him looking for the missing heir.
yeah. Just trying to get my thoughts together. Still kind of a bit sleepy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, me too. I'm not sleepy, but I'm trying to get my thoughts together too.
So I understand that the late Count Vaughan spoke with you recently.
Ah, yes. I did speak with Vaughan, though I consider myself relatively well informed, and I did not know that he was dead.
Were you aware that he was dead long before that, as he was undead?
Ah, yes. I was aware of his relationship with the Night King.
I must ask, what business might you have had with a vampire?
Ah, well, you see, here in Westgate, it is difficult to remain pure. Even we who have the best intentions find that it's difficult to remain impartial in a city controlled by the Night King. Sometimes it is best to be flexible with one's morality if one wishes to do business. I do hope you are flexible enough to maintain an open mind.
I understand. I don't agree, but I understand.
All right, Sildarim, we're going to bring you up to speed. We haven't gotten very far, but all the same. So the party is somewhat split at the moment, split between those actively engaging in diplomacy with Giral, the harper that we've come to see here, and with the rest of the party who either doesn't trust him or doesn't care. And one of the reasons we don't trust him is because we've come here unarmed and unarmored. Are you part of the contingent who is who is in the negotiations, which is Flightless and Eleanor? Or are you part of the rest of the party who were not pursuing this line of interrogation?
I'd probably be the part of the not pursuing, I would suspect.
You have to leave your weapons and armor if you want to talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that.
Very good, very good. So Eleanor and Flightless, unarmed and unequipped, are in this guy's basement, having been led here by a surfing halfling who appears to be well out of his depths in this corrupt city. there you are in the cellar. He says, it is best to maintain an open mind when trying to work in a city such as this.
I suppose through the telepathic bond with Ellen, he was like, "Oh, maybe you should ask about the missing heir. I think this leads to an argument. These questions."
Yes, I suppose you're right. I'll respond telepathically. I'll change the subject and I'll say, regardless, know you perhaps of any leads in the whereabouts of the missing heir of Cormia?
Well, as it turns out, I know very little about that particular subject, though I have been doing my utmost to learn the truth. But there is one who I think may know. Unfortunately, he and I are on complicated terms. You see, I currently am subservient to this Duke of Whispers, a intelligence gatherer, an espionage agent, a spy who himself is in direct service to the Night King. And as it happens, I would like to become Duke of Whispers myself.
I see.
Yes, perhaps you can guess where I am going with this?
Hmm. You might have misjudged us, as we are not assassins.
Well, that is unfortunate, for this man has gathered information critical to the success of your plans, and if you are unable to extract it out of him, then you will likely be crossing the sea empty-handed. But his information relates not specifically or not simply to the fate of Cormia and hidden King Arjun V, long may he reign. Indeed, the Duke of Whispers is well versed on all issues pertaining to lands to the north, most notably the strength of the Zentarim's army, the chaos gripping the Underdark, and the mystery surrounding the shadow in the sky above Anarok.
I see. If he knows so much, then it would likely be in our interest to hunt him down and interrogate him.
Well, you will find it difficult to interrogate such a creature without eliminating him as well. And if you are going to do such things, then it stands to reason that I should be the one to replace him. We have a rapport, I am hoping. We have similar ideals, I am sure. And while you might not be Harpers in name, I assure you, you are in spirit.
I guess we'll fly this assistant. Can I do a history check or something to see if I know anything about the current Duke of Whispers?
Yeah, sure.
At 19.
Not a thing.
Hmm.
But it's just that I have not heard of a Duke of Whispers.
He is the supreme spy for the Night King. He is the eyes and ears and organizer of information that the Lord of Westgate requires, and I would like to be that man in his place.
Is that solely for your own benefit, or would it be to act as a double agent?
Well, well, you see, the Night King is not one that we play games with. I would not advise any level of duplicity with such a figure. Indeed, I would have to get permission from the Night King before I can subsume his role, lest I face his wrath. And that's where you come in once again. perhaps you would be willing to petition the Night King for me and propose that I replace the current Duke of Whispers. Everything that I learn, I would give to you. All of the information that we have found would be yours. And what's more, you would have a reliable friend here in Westgate, someone with your ideals.
An audience, the Lord of Vampires.
Yes, yes. Now I understand that you might find this distasteful. After all, I have followed your careers very closely. Uh, I understand that not only would it be a personal affront to yourself, and also to the one you travel, Sildarin, I expect that the dwarf who intends to claim Tediamar would find this equally as distasteful, though I doubt that the Baron of Rabbiton would care one way or the other. Yet, you might be very surprised to learn that the Night King is already your ally.
Already our ally?
Yes, of course. See, you do not know the identity of the Night King, and I would be loath to reveal it. Even under threat of torture or damnation, I would not do such. But I can assure you that whatever hatred, whatever rivalry you feel, whatever fear you have about the Zentarum and their ambitions, the Night King can match it 1,000 times over. He hates the Bay Knights. He has a personal vendetta against Fazul Shambril, Dark Lord of Bane and Champion, Master of the Zentarum. Indeed, the Night King considers him his greatest personal foe and will stop at nothing to undermine him.
Sort of like rub my temples.
You should think about it. What business do you have in Westgate anyway? It is not within your sphere of influence. The Night King has cast no shadow over Marshemba or Suzale or Dagger Falls or Shadowdale. These lands are beyond his direct reach, beyond his control. Westgate will be Westgate, whether you like it or not. Best then that you ally directly and serve the Night King, be his pawn, and in doing so, you will advance across the chessboard and become a queen.
Absolutely not.
I use the wrong terminology, I am afraid. Be his work for him. Work for him, and in the process you will deliver such blows to the Zentarum as you could not possibly do by your own. You will gather the information gathered by the Duke of Whispers. All of this shall be yours. You shall have in me a loyal friend here in Westgate who will be working towards the shared interests that you already have. But most importantly of all, you will be able to call upon the Night King, and he to call upon you when the time comes to strike against the Zentarum, against the Bay Knights. You have nothing to lose. The interests of Westgate are beyond your own interests. Uh, so you should be thinking of the big picture here. You should understand that there is no more powerful ally that you could possibly find short of the Hidden King himself.
Kind of look at Flightless. Like looking for his telepathic opinion about what he thinks about this.
It is really very simple. All you need to do is the following. Petition the Night King with my proposal that I would be the new Duke of Whispers. Do as he says, and from there on, you will have the wealthiest city-state on the inner sea as your personal ally against the greatest army that the Deus has ever known.
I guess. Because I suppose I haven't asked it with. Can I do history? What do I know of the Night King? Because the Harpers and the Night King don't seem like factions that would get along. And maybe this guy is
Sure.
maybe unknowing even to himself, like slipped down like a darker path than like what he. Because he's like, I want to work for like one of the seemingly what one would assume to be one of the more evil people in the world.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
23.
Oh, the Night King is a fucking bastard. He is as evil as they come, and you have to be. You know, in order to be the godfather of all godfathers, you must have ruthlessness, ambition, personal power, determination. Like this is nobody in recent memory, nobody in a century or more has been able to control Westgate, and officially the Night King still doesn't. He doesn't like have a Parliament House. He's not the sitting in at the head of a Congress or anything, but he is the Night King, right? And all accounts seem to suggest that anybody who opposes him meets a fate far worse than death. So he's as sinister as anyone comes, and as powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because maybe like I've got.
But also as mysterious. That's the other thing, is he's also very mysterious. So his identity is completely unknown. Where he came from, who he was, no one knows.
Because maybe I've got the tinfoil hat on, but maybe this guy, because he used to be like a pretty famous harper, and now he's here working for the Night King. So I'd say maybe he's been like enthralled or something.
Maybe.
Can I try to get a bead on him with insight?
Yeah, you can make an insight check. Guy's laying it out as he's laying it out as clearly as he possibly can. You know, he's giving you step-by-step instructions. Like, he fears you. Make no mistake of it. This Giral fellow, he's not terrified, but he's terrified of the Night King, and well, he should be. But he fears you. He's just waiting for you pair to go, no, reach into your bag of holding, pull out, the nuclear option, and destroy him. No, he's waiting for that, but he doesn't want it to come to that. He greatly fears to lose his own life. Greatly fears. In fact, a man of his age, older people tend to be more accepting of death quite naturally. This guy is not like that. He does not want to die. But he's being, he's just laying it, he's just laid his cards right in front of you. He's showing you his hand.
I'm gonna give him a ping with divine sense and see whether he's undead.
Undead confirmed.
As I suspected. I guess my eyes light up for a moment as I scan him over and kind of frown in disgust. Well,
I suppose as you're doing this, I was like, can you ask if I may cast a spell on him to see if he is under the effects of a spell?
Do you ask?
Because it's
is that
only telepathic? So
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought you were saying it to Eleanor.
That's a very specific question.
Yeah. You wouldn't have.
I'll communicate back to Flightless that I sense the stench of the undead about him.
He seems to sell that. He seems to know that you're being telepathic. Like the sudden silence, the glances that you're giving each other. He seems to realize that you're communicating, but he doesn't interfere. But he's not dumb. This guy is a master of spies, so he knows when people are doing this.
He hit us with an insight check.
Exactly. He's not stupid.
Yeah, I'll communicate that I believe that he's undead. and then I'll ask Flightless's question. My Kenku companion here, Flightless, would like to cast a spell on you. That is permissible.
Do I have a choice?
Well, he'll nod. Like, I guess he'll.
I would rather not.
I guess he'll get the book out and point out the identify spell.
Or the
Point up
identified do. What would it do
I
for
d-
us in this situation? Would it confirm that he's a vampire?
No, not vampire. I'm checking to see if he's on the effect of some sort of charm.
Oh, I see.
I
You
would
want me
rather
to-
not have any spells cast upon me. I am a delicate fool, and I am, well, a little concerned about the way things might go if you do.
Delicate. That's rich. Cross my arms. I dare say you're far sturdier than any mortal man would be.
I am a wretch. I am a shadow, hollow, fickle being, an echo of what I once was. I forget much of who I was, and I regret who I have become. But I mean you no harm. I mean you no ill will. I am on your side. You are the inheritor of my legacy. You are the protector of my former home. I am a child of Westgate now, and I do not think that I should ever leave, except when I am turned to ash. Thus, I must carve out the existence that I can. I serve my master faithfully and loyally, and I assure you that you are on his side.
Hmm. Well, this is an incredibly important decision to make. I, for one, would refuse it outright, but the rest of my companions may have different opinions, and I would not keep the truth from them.
You would weigh your moral superiority, your own personal code, over the lives of thousands, of hundreds of thousands. You would rather the Zentarum have the edge over the Dales. You would rather the Hidden King remains unfound simply because it would hurt your feelings.
So
Not that it would hurt my feelings. Look at yourself, Jaral. Look at what you have become. Can you honestly say it was worth it? Just because I do not ally with the Night King does not mean the Zentarum will definitely be victorious. I can find another way.
I regret what has befallen me. I did not wish this upon myself. I hate what I have become, and I wish I had never accepted the posting here to Westgate. But I must do what I can with the dice that have been rolled, and I will not forsake my own legacy out of self-pity, out of a code of honor that no longer applies. We are allies, you and I. Why can't you see that? He's crying tears of blood.
God.
So
Both pitiful and disturbing.
I suppose
Cast a glancer.
he's because I don't reckon the Night King would be better than the Zentarum.
Of course he would. The Night King's interests are confined to Westgate. He has no ambitions on the Dales. He has no ambitions that conflict with your own agenda. He simply wants revenge.
Is that right? And Pray tell why we found the entire Vaughn family to be vampires.
Because the Vaughan family were overly ambitious and evilly manipulated. They had fallen afoul of the Sembians, of Master Benoit, and their Netherese overlords. The Vaughan family were trying to carve out a larger slice of the pie for their own self-interests. If you know anything of Count Vaughan, you will know that his sense of ego far outweighed his own prudence, his own sensibility, his own capability. He needed something that would give him the edge. He volunteered for this.
Hmm. Well, you have laid your cards upon the table.
Sounds a bit like projection on his end.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he did that as well.
Hmm. Well, you've laid your cards upon the table, made clear your intentions.
Let me give you some advice from my heart, black as it is. Either do as I say, meet with the Night King, and subject yourself to his bidding, and in the process learn everything that you can about every issue that concerns you, or get out of this city before it is too late. Flee, flee for your lives, for defiance of the Night King will be a regrettable end for you. Or follow my advice and meet with him. Learn what you have in common. Learn that even the darkest shadow can be used to your advantage. Learn that the Zentarum, that Fazul Shembril, that Bane, has no greater enemy in Toril than the Orbach, the Night King.
Well, I would discuss this with my companions.
Yes, yes, yes. And if you do not return, then I suspect that I will be turned to ash, and you will not wait for me, this I know. But the Harpers will lose their only card here in Westgate. Our friend Cody here will likely be made to pay. And the links that strengthen the Zentarum will go ever stronger. For one of the last allies you could have possibly taken advantage of will be lost to you, will be lost to the Dales. Elminster is gone now. Shadowdale is unprotected. Daggerdale could not possibly stand against even a fraction of the Zentarim's might. You need every help that you can get, and there is no greater ally than the Orbach.
I will keep this in mind, but promise nothing.
I understand. You are a democratic leader, but a leader you are all the same. Advise your friends, your allies. Speak with them not from the heart, but from the mind. Use your brain for a change. I mean this not as an insult. I know that you are led by your heart, and that is a noble paradigm for a knight to take. But sometimes it is better to think than to feel.
Perhaps.
Because at this point,
We'll see whether this is one of those times.
will probably give his opinion to Eleanor, saying that I reckon this guy has slipped from his heroic beginnings. And also, he's sort of contradicting himself, saying he speaks from his heart but tells you not to.
Yeah, I'll reply and that I feel much the same way. But I wouldn't make any decision on behalf of my companions. That wouldn't be fair. So I'll return and share all the information with them. Very
Well,
well
then, I'm very glad that you are considering my proposal. The more you think about it, the more you will see how the benefits of this alliance. After all, if it costs you your honor, then that's a small price to pay if it saves the Dales, if it saves Cormier.
Indeed.
And now he sees that he's gotten through to you, and his eyes narrow, and his fangs grow just a little when he found the avenue, right? Bam.
I'll shoot him just a glance just as sharp as his fangs.
He rides.
Was Cody also a vampire when you sensed?
No, he's not.
Right. I'll communicate that as well. Make sure that Flightless knows that he's not. Well then, we'll take our leave of you, Joral.
So, can you ask that Cody lead us back? I know the way, but I'd rather not leave him here.
Cody,
Very well.
please accompany our guests back to their residencies. And I would advise that if they back out of this deal, you go with them. After all, we are the last hoppers in Westgate. Okay. Whatever you say, man.
Poor Cody.
Yeah,
I
so-
feel like he's way in over his head.
Yeah, I think Joel's basically seen what I had Eleanor ask from Cody, because we're basically well, that's what he sort of wants to do.
Alright, let's head back.
I suppose before he leaves, he'll write like just a quick letter saying that he won't let people he won't let this end to what he was told was such a great Harper legend come to such a bad end. Like, he'll keep the secret of what happened. You know what I mean? Let's rephrase that. He'll keep the end of Jor-El's story hidden.
Yeah.
So that his legacy of being a Harper hero can actually happen and continue.
He can die a hero instead of become the villain.
Just a sad old man in Westgate. So he'll quickly write that down on a piece of paper, just a little sheet, and leave it as they leave.
All right. And so if there's any further comments.
No comments, I think. Just the harshest of gazes of contempt.
Right, and I guess just sympathy from Flightless.
Looks
of sympathy from Flightless and looks of contempt from Eleanor.
Whoa, that was heavy, man. Cody says when we're back in the sewers.
You could say that to Cody.
Yeah, I just did.
Are you aware of the true nature of your master there?
Yeah, he's really powerful because he's a vampire, but it's kind of a downer too.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Isn't that it?
I surely hope you are not seeking the same gift.
Oh man, I'd hate that. Surfing in the dark sucks, man.
Give him a smile.
I guess Flightless would be like, you handled yourself rather well, in your own voice.
I did. You think so? I suppose I did not go for his throat. Trust me, I was tempted to do so.
And I suppose in that, like, are you going to tell him that he is leaving Westgate with us?
Suppose that depends on what everyone else has to say. Of course, even if the party are in agreement that they would like to meet and work with the Night King, I'm not sure I will be able to agree to such terms. Regardless, we shall cross that bridge when we come to it.
All right. So you wind your way back through the sewers. Meanwhile, those of you who are in the mermaid's bosom, or even those of you who are on the ship, you'll hear the same thing from different spruikers. Extra! Extra! Cyclone retiring, looking for one last bout. Big payouts available to anyone interested in jumping in the ring against Cyclone. 10,000 pieces of gold purse to anyone brave enough to face Cyclone in a fight. Extra, extra, read all about it.
10K, wow.
Do the companions of Kabir back in the bosom?
So, all right. Yeah, so yeah, you come in. The sea elves are stumbling around now, kind of making asses of themselves, really. Their assets are jingling, and those assets are quite open. The sea elves are not known to wear a lot in the way of clothing.
So do we see our companions?
Sure do.
Awesome.
Right, I'll find ourselves a table. Unless they already have one.
What time of day is it?
Oh gee, I can't remember. Probably nighttime by now. 8, 9, yeah.
So we get our drinks and we go and we sit down at the thing and we're like, speak up, girl. What you be
Girl.
seeing?
My eye twitches a little bit as I'm addressed as girl, but then I realize I'm talking to Moog.
You are a little girl compared to Mo.
True. Well, we met with Jaral. He would seem to be a vampire, but that was the least of our concerns. He suggested that we meet with and ally with the Night King of all people. He suggested that in doing so, we would find ourselves information regarding the
Ally with to what end?
against the Zentarum. Apparently, the Night King is a staunch opponent of Bane. As for what we would be expected to do under his employ, I know not. But considering he is the Night King, I imagine it would not be anything good. He did promise that should we ally with the Night King, that we would likely find information that we seek regarding the hidden Lord of Cormia, and of course a staunch ally against the Zentarum. I imagine that a legion of vampires would be most capable foot troops, assuming it was a nighttime battle.
So you be saying the old man's not a helpful harper anymore, and he's not a good wizard, and then he wants us to talk to the boss, and the boss has the information that can accomplish our mission,
That seems to
why
be the
wouldn't we
case.
be talking to him? It seems like we're mutual enemies, and we might not have to be doing anything but continuing on. And we'll be
We
doing.
might be trading one tyrant for another.
Moog, it might seem a case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but do not forget he's the Night King of all people.
Didn't you make a pledge to Bane himself as a holy paladin?
My expression turns
Amazing.
incredibly dark when you bring that up.
We all have scruples. Well, there's a price for everything. Price for Cormeria and finding your king and putting peace. Just to talk to the man. What do we have to lose?
Well, Cormia itself, it won't end with this.
Nothing's going to end. We know that. But we could take his knowledge for an advantage.
I'm sure he would have plenty of that.
This is the last rock the princess had to unlook. Your old country. Future is in the balance. I think the information could sway it. If you bend the knee to Bane, you can bend the knee to the Night King.
Well, if you recall, I bent the knee to Bane for no more than a few hours, and I bear the consequences still. I shudder to imagine what will happen to my soul when I pass from this world.
It's what is done is done. And now you could do the same for your country. Maybe that would merit justice in the end.
I don't think I am that desperate yet. I believe there are other ways.
What else do we have? We've taken this thread to the end. This is the last rock to look under. We don't look under it. Just by talking to him doesn't commit us to anything. You have my vote. I say we talk to the king. We're not signing up to be in his army, and we're not conscripting his army. But if all we're doing is sharing information,
But he is
it's worth it.
untrustworthy. Like, just meeting him, we may not be able to leave willingly.
Everybody's untrustworthy. And if this is a city, he can make it pretty hard for us to leave anyway.
Then we better leave quickly.
I say we take a vote.
Yes,
Whatever
what
you
think
vote.
you of this proposal, Sildarin, Pyro, Finnick, Artisan, Finnick?
How deliciously Faustian.
Artisan's just going to wave his hand at you because he's busy with diagrams. Not
That's
that.
about what I expected. Artisan, pretty neutral.
I suppose I have a few questions.
Ask away.
So as soon as you found out this guy was a vampire, you unleashed your holy justice and smited him down in his own home undefended, right? And you killed everyone associated with him and didn't give them a chance to defend themselves?
Oh, I would surely have liked to.
Oh no, because justice is blind. We must kill all undead. Assume he's dead now, so we can't really meet with him.
Stare silently at Finnick.
Oh, do you only butcher random people in my name, not in your own name?
Is there a point to riling me up, Master Finnick?
Yes, that you are a child when it comes to justice.
The scowl even harder.
For the record, I gave Vaughn a chance to surrender and he'd be unharmed, but he didn't listen. He tried to try to kill us instead.
Yes, I think my opinion on this matter is clear, that I would rather not meet with the Night King, but you decide amongst yourselves, and I'll consider your proposals. I'll stand up from the table and go to the bar.
Hey, are you buying drinks? Asks a a sea elf who's only wearing a clam.
Perhaps for myself.
Oh, so greedy. Don't you like to share? She says, hugging her friends.
Now's not the time, lass. Moog sends her a coin and says, "Be off with you."
She doesn't like it, but she takes the money and buys some shrimp.
I'll buy just a cup of wine and indulge in it as I just stew on everything that they just brought up.
So we have a vote. What say you, Your Grace the Rabbit?
After the butchery in my name, I'm no longer partaking in anything to do with Cormyrean politics.
Yeah, but you're a Cormyrean baron. You have people. Do you not want peace to land? You came on this mission.
I have not met the people, and most likely I will just pass my baronship on to someone when I get there.
Why don't you be talking to the Night King then? For us.
Because I have zero interest in Cormyrean politics. After my name in Cormyre was dragged through the mud by a childish paladin wishing to smite everything in its way.
To the lives of thousands is going to be because you'll be grudging each other.
Thousands of humans.
Thousands of good folk. I feed the Fae with the good energy. Isn't that how it works? It's all connected.
Oh, we really are in dire straits when Moog is the voice of reason.
Moog the Wise.
I don't. I think it's too
You take
dangerous.
that back.
Because look what happened to Joel. He signed up with the Night King. He went from being one of the best the morally best harpers available, and now look at him. And he's a wizard. Like, he's prepared for what the White Night King had. Can you say the same, Moog?
We're not signing up. He had his own ambitions that brought him here. If what we're doing is being a thorn in the bane in the Zentarum side, it's hardly in the best interest for the Night King to be shutting down our army.
Actually, may I test something, Moog?
Yes.
Can you make a wisdom save?
Well, man at arms in just being a life of war and strategy, he's not saying.
No, I'm just asking because I want to do a little test. Can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Who said that?
Me.
Out of character,
Yeah.
I think he's saying it.
For what?
I'm just casting a spell.
This is what it's come to.
No, I mean, it's just
What?
a test. It's not like he is.
I don't even have my.
One party member who won't participate because they've been gravely offended. Another party member ambushing one with spells.
So he'll just point at you and just say sit, and then I guess you'll sit.
Hey, I've got a. If I fail one, I can make another one.
I don't think it's worth it because my character just has a point to make. So if I can do that, what can the Night King do to you?
What's that?
If I can do that, what can the Night King do to you? He has magic beyond all of us, and mind control ability beyond reason.
I'd be seeing your point. However,
and then quick as the spell's over, you can stand up again.
If we can do that, then we could be doing much worse to all of us. We could be not even making it to our ship, and we could be going down in a blaze of glory right now. I see what happens on the other side. I have no regrets to meet my maker. However, this is not. Your scruples are getting in the way of progress. We're here for a mission, and we can make a serious strategic advantage by getting information.
Or we could lose everything.
There's nothing to lose that he can't take right now. Just to talk to the devil. We've talked to much worse. I'm be happy to die in place, trying to make it to the boat, not of this godforsaken town. but we're going to be going back as failures. We're not going to be any close to finding where the prince is, and we're not going to be bringing any ends to Chimeria. That's what we're going to go back as. So just as you know, what you make is a decision.
Many have tried to find him before, and many will try again in the future, including us.
Well, unfortunately for you humans, your time is limited. You don't have the advantage of years on your time to wait. Vampires do. Will they never be coming back here if we make it out alive?
I think the danger we find ourselves in is not what the Night King might force us to do against our will, but what we might agree to do by our own free will.
So I suppose I do not trust him, and in espionage, when you do not trust the info broker, you do not go to him.
This is politics of countries. Who can you trust? All we know is there's good folk in Chimeria.
So we went in trusting Joel. We left knowing more of the truth.
Cast your vote.
I guess he'll put a piece of paper about it, and I guess everyone in the chat put what you vote for.
I've got 2 to leave,
And
2
then
to stay.
Okay, go
I
on.
have 1 to stay.
And Artisans waved us away, saying he wasn't voting.
If I need to be a tiebreaker, I'll be a tiebreaker. But
Yeah, Finnick also abstains, and then it's just okay. Still Darwin then. You can either
If you do bad things for good reasons.
Everything about war is bad. Means justify the ends, or you accomplish what's good for your folk.
So we start down the slippery slope. Against my better judgment, I might be willing to at least listen.
Alright. 2 to leave, 2 to stay. We're tied. We need a breaker.
I care not much for Cormyrian politics, but these Netherese seem on the verge of swallowing a good chunk of the world. Many people will be damned if they do.
and that's if we don't stay.
it's basically we're picking
Possible.
our tyrant at this point.
It's up to you, Artisan.
If we do nothing, there's an entire win. If we side with the vampires, they'll probably take over Cormia in the long.
Just talking to them doesn't mean we're siding with them.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a decision of whether we want to talk to them at all.
Mm.
Not a decision of whether we want to join up with them.
Yep, I don't think the Night King is the type of person who accepts no.
Probably not, no, but that's still what this decision is.
But if
the vote is for.
he's big fans of our work, and he wants us to continue on with this in Thorum, so maybe there's something in it for
that's
him.
not the Night King. That's Joel, who is basically not what he once was. Like what he remembers
Yeah.
is a hero, but he is clearly not that hero anymore. He works for like the person he would likely fight.
What Mike said was right. The Night King, like, he doesn't give a fuck about you guys. Doesn't give a fuck at all. What he cares about is the Zentarum and stopping them,
Yeah. So I think
or having his revenge anyway.
if we're a means to his revenge, if he empowers us with information, there's not going to be any harm to our.
Biggest enemy to the Dales. Yeah, go ahead.
So staying and talking is just what we're saying. If the Night King wanted to us, he could seize our ship, have an army surround us, and we would just wear out.
The idea was to leave before he realizes what's happening.
Obviously, he knows what just happened because he could have been listening the whole time with scrying, or he could have been reported to as we're sitting here. So if he wanted to lock down the city, he could lock down the city. Maybe make it a few blocks if we go outside.
It's a question of would Artisan want to meet and talk with the Night King? Like, not necessarily making any promises, but just talk with him?
So I think a lot of the thing that's swaying some decision is the fact that he's a vampire, and vampires are kind of evil sometimes, most of the time. But with Artisan, he's intelligent non-life, and he would, even though he knows his intellect is probably better, or he thinks his intellect is better, he would still respect intelligent semblances of life like himself, and he'd just say to hear him out.
All right.
That would be his input on it.
That's 3-2 for staying. So after a while, Eleanor will return from the bar with a second glass of wine and sit back down in a slump. Well,
I say we talk to the man.
leans forward. If you all insist, I suppose at the very least this will get us closer to the Night King himself. I imagine the world would do better without someone of his ilk. If this is the course of action... Oh, go ahead.
Tell the halfling to tell his master, set up the meeting.
Very well. Is Cody in the bar with us?
Sure is. He's currently chatting up a sea elf, and his head reaches around about her navel, and he's right where he wants to be.
Well, I'm about to interrupt his good time. So I walk up behind him, saying, Cody, we have reached a decision.
And so the wave was like 20 feet tall, but I rode it, and I was not going to let that go to pass. No way. No way. I'm busy here.
Poke him on the shoulder.
What is it? What? Hey, no, I'm not with her. No, I barely know her. I'm totally single.
Look him over. Is he drunk?
No, but his breath smells of cannabis.
I see, he's just high. Me and my companions have reached a decision.
Excuse me for a moment. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. No, come on, no, just make it quick, okay? You made a decision, yeah. Now what? So, how does that involve me?
We would like you to send a message to Giral that we will meet with the Night King. But stipulate in the message that we are not agreeing to anything. This is simply a meeting to talk.
All right. Okay. All right.
Well, see to it.
What, now? Like, right now?
Yes, right now.
Oh, man. Being a harper kind of sucks. But he
Watch
does
him
as he's
leave and then
told.
return to the table.
And you've gotten the attention inadvertently of a minotaur wearing a dragon skull mask. They weren't paying too much attention to you. They're reading a newspaper for most of the time. But when you picked up that you're setting up a meeting with the Night King, well, I think that probably got his attention. Is that right, Entity?
It would be Four Horns. The entity was his ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll speak of the Night King. Is how he'll walk up and start talking. He's a big 6'5" minotaur, and he's wearing a dragon skull on his head, and his horns are going through the dragon skull.
Hmm.
The eye holes.
Well, I like to think that Eleanor's like on her third glass of wine at this point. She kind of looks him up and down and says, "Well, you're a big bastard, aren't you?
Moog
What
sizes
can I do for you?"
Well, I heard that Cyclone was retiring, so since the main person I want to fight is not going to be there, I need something to do.
Moog sizes them up.
Night King sounds strong.
You want to fight the Night King?
Why, yes. Of course, I'm a hero, and I have to fight for people. And Night King sounds like an evil, strong guy.
Moog does
Uh,
a size up on him if he's a fighter and if what level.
Is that determining his class?
I can tell if you're a fighter and I can tell if you're a higher level than us.
He's a fighter, but you don't feel that all of his skills are fighter based. And he is of equal par with the party.
to fight the Night King. The irony, then, that we seek only to talk with him. It's a joke.
Does talking turn into fighting?
I would hope so, but likely not.
Then yes, I will go with you. He doesn't have any weapons. He's pretty much nude in just a loincloth and this skull that's on his head. He's just dark brown skin, black fur, white skull.
Now that is a man, says one of the CLs to a friend.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I have no doubt that you could snap the average human in half. But this is the Night King we're talking about. I dare say that even I would struggle to take him on.
Finnick, you be the conscious storm giant. Why don't you set up a fight for this Minotaur? You get his wish.
What are you talking about? I don't know a storm giant.
If this paper, that's the one thing he has on his body, says that there's going to be a fight between the Cyclone and two other giants, and they're looking for partners to fight. I'm looking for partners to fight with in that, but I didn't think anyone would want to fight three giants with me. There's 10k for each warband, and we can split it between the ones who fight alongside if you wanted to do that as well. But Night King sounds fun.
Why not? Why not? We're slipping down the path of debauchery anyway, are we not? I spill a little bit of my wine.
Are we not here on a mission? We're not gladiators going into the. What we need we have this gold. We got a whole country on our shoulders, and you want to go and fight storm giants for no reason. And it sounds like he's a good lad in himself. For what purpose is this?
Yeah, what purpose? What purpose indeed? What purpose do we even exist? I ask you that.
Aye. Now you're getting all melancholy, lass. I think you should have some more drink and just completely
Yes.
knock yourself out.
Maybe I should.
Talking dribble.
Very upset.
If Night King is strong and Cyclone is strong, I'm good with strong. For I am a hero, and I need to beat up evil
So you be a
or
hero.
better.
Tell me your tale. What should be a hero of?
I'm Four Horns, and as he says Four Horns, you notice that he has two horns, but then standing behind him is a translucent gray image of him that looks just like him, that just stands there idly. Four Horns is two, so it's better than one. So I am a hero. I can punch things from really far away, and he'll do a he'll do a punch, and it will like knock over a chair 30 feet away.
There'll be a lot of large beasts in the world. You say you're a hero. What heroic deeds have you done? What name have you made yourselves? Other than having four horns.
I killed this dragon. And he's going to point to the skull that he has on his head.
Why?
Because the dragon was strong, and also it wanted to fight me, I think.
What kind of dragon was it? Can we tell? What color?
Probably what check would you want them to do for that, Arctic?
Probably a nature check, yeah, but you can just tell them if you want to.
Just a baby gold dragon.
Haha. A baby girl gold dragon. A baby girl gold dragon with a paladin mount.
Well, you see, it was a mighty dragon, and if you want, you can do the nature check on it as he tells about this dragon.
Yeah, okay, why not?
If you can tell, he's pretty dumb. Hmm. So I think a 13 would say, you've never seen a dragon like this. It doesn't look like a dragon skull you've ever seen. In fact, it looks so unlike any dragon skull that you've ever seen. You're unsure if it's a dragon skull. It's just the general shape of one.
So I can tell you're a fighter. What other skills you got?
Well, did you see the thing with the chair over there? I can punch people from far away. I can fight.
Who taught you that?
It was to be able to punch Cyclone in the face. Really, I just really wanted to punch Cyclone. There was this old man who came here, and I said I wanted to punch a giant in the face. So he trained me for a little while, and now I can punch a giant in the face.
Truly an inspirational story.
He's dumb and not charismatic at all, so he has an 8 on intelligence and 8 on charisma.
Fitting.
Like average.
But while he is tall in size, you see that he's not buff like you would imagine most minotaurs. He's more lanky and toned than just sheer bulk. So you think he might be able to move around.
Move faster than his size would imply.
Yeah. So can I come with you guys? Sorry. I really wanted to fight Cyclone, but if you guys are going to talk to this Night King, then I'd like to go.
We have a war we've been getting ready to go to, and if you want to be fighting, we got lots of fighting.
A war.
But
A war.
we don't know you from Adam, so you're not going to be going in on any party business yet until we get to trusting you. You can put your gear on this boat and wait for us, or you can sit here have a drinks, but you're not going to be coming for party business until we be knowing you a little bit better.
Okay. I does war do fighting? I think war does. I'll do war with you.
Very good. Why don't you just sit down and have a drink with us as we wait for our little friend to get back with a message, and then you could go to our boat and put your gear on there and wait for us to get back.
Okay. And he's going as he drinks. He's like, he orders a drink and he's struggling to like drink past the lip of whatever skull he has on his face.
Mhm.
And it seems like that skull would not come off. It's like his horns grew around it.
Strange.
Like he's had it on for over a decade or something like that.
I'll order another glass of wine, lift it to my lips, and look down at the glass, and realize that my hands are shaking and the liquid within is like frothing and roiling about. And then set the glass back down and shake my head and put my head in my hands.
Are you not a wine lady? You can have some of my mead.
No, that's not it. Whatever your name is.
Four
Right.
horns. There's
For
two sets of horns. You see them?
yes.
And
I do.
the echo is just standing beside him still.
Is the echo always there for echo fighters, or is it when they turn it on?
You can choose to dismiss it whenever you want, but you get the impression that he just has a buddy around all the time that doesn't do anything.
An imaginary friend.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just kind of
something
like
to do,
shimmering
yeah.
like vacillates where you don't know which one's which, right? Isn't that kind of how it is? And then
Well, it's a gray translucent image. So technically you'd be able to tell because his fur is what was that?
He makes you harder to hit, raises the armor class.
Yeah, I've never played Echo Knights before.
So echoes are pretty cool. You can make, if you make an attack action from at all, you can do that attack action from its spot. It could be up to 30 feet away from you. He can teleport between it as a bonus action. They're pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's like having a sort of like a wizard's familiar that you can cast spells from, almost, except it's a ghost that you can attack from.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And it has pretty good AC too.
Interesting.
But 1 hit point, but immunity to all conditions. And you can summon it back an unlimited number of times for bonus action. I'll go ahead and quote it here. It's a lot.
All right. Joral walks into the bar with Cody in tow.
You look over. Oh, not you. My head's still in my hands.
The night is young, but I will be waiting for you when you are ready.
I believe we're ready now. It's not going to get any better for us.
Yes,
Then
ready
let
as
us
I'll
depart.
ever be.
All right.
I guess meeting in the morning's out of the question.
Well, I think we will want to be at the estate long before the dawn rises, if it's all right with you.
It is.
It is. We send our Minotaur to our boat. Go tell him you're setting up with us. And I don't know if anybody else wants to depart, or are we all going to talk to the Night King?
We're not going to bring the new expendable party member so we can.
Who is this guy? We wouldn't. We've got missions of state espionage going on, and this dopey, thug comes up to us.
He can be the voice of reason.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm not. So we send the Minotaur off on his way.
If Pyro was eager to play as Minotaur now, I was going to drunkenly suggest that why not bring him? Like, he would be an unknown factor that the Night King wasn't expecting. Like, throw him off his game.
Don't know.
Oh yes. The old man did say that you could lie about numbers, I think, to disregard.
Be off, lad. We'll be with you when we get back from this.
For sure, I can't come.
I
think it's more about bringing him so that the player can play than interaction. Because I think the talks might take like the last of the session.
Well, Arctic's coming with us, isn't he?
I mean, I don't care if you guys want to just anybody that walks up to us and dial them with all
Yeah, I
the
know.
key
It doesn't
letters.
make too much
There's a
sense
thing
now.
called suspension of disbelief, where we suspend what our characters would do to allow something to happen, and I think allowing a player to take part in the session is an allowed part of the suspension.
Sure, but the character already has a character in the session, so either way, I don't care.
One that's busy doing things for the party, but it's whatever.
I don't care if you want to suspend disbelief, then he could come with. I don't care.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
I just threw them together in the last few minutes. I'm sorry.
I say, I thought it was a bit odd, like just introducing a character out of nowhere.
Yeah. And since
Fair
y'all are
enough,
about to
yeah.
do something, I asked if I could just be thrown in.
Yeah. But I think it's more like we bring him, like Moog's saying, but not like Moog's saying, but his opinion is not of the parties yet, but he's just tagging along with us. So, but he can't make party decisions. That's more like the cope we go with,
Yeah.
rather than just saying you can't play this session. Like, go watch your YouTube.
I think it's a fair compromise.
I'm also from here, so maybe they may know me. I don't know. And Arctic, I guess he to help with leveling up, he had been fighting in the pits there.
Yep, absolutely. You're a
Also,
known entity.
As we leave the tavern and begin to follow, I'll realize that I'm not walking in a particularly straight line. And I thought, oh no, I'm not about to make a fool of myself in front of the Night King and the rest of my companions. And I'll spend 5 points of my lay on hands pool to cure poison, because alcohol is technically poison.
Get rid of your hangover? No worries.
Yeah.
All right. Westgate has a number of castles, 3 or 4 or more, but the largest one is where we're heading to now. Joral calls a carriage for us, a black carriage. Yep, Sildarin prepares himself with the death ward. We probably have to, a few of us get inside the carriage, a few of us hang on the outside. and the black horses trot through the cobblestone streets on our way to our destination. And we reach the castle, where we are admitted, where we are expected. Our weapons aren't confiscated. We aren't searched. Apparently, the Night King is confident enough that he doesn't take the same precautions that Gerald did. And into this magnificent manor we go, past splendid artworks from 100 different cultures and nations and city-states, and down into a what at first might seem to be a crypt, but rather reveals itself to be a luxury throne room. And we travel along a long gullet. Finnick, are you coming or not?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I hadn't put you down. I wasn't sure if you were, so I'll put you down now. And we go down a long gullet, down the throat, and deep down with Joral leading us, until we come into a court that is... Finnick doesn't have any sight. I'll take care of that. But there was no dark vision in Finnick, because I hadn't put in the night goggles for all this time. Yeah, cool. And we come to a courtroom, a throne room, where not only are vampires openly conversing quietly, but it even features monsters that are likewise dead. The skull of an illithid with its tentacles still attached, an enormous blue dragon whose flesh drips off it like rags, a gnoll who is laughing gleefully, and atop the throne, a tall, strong, handsome man in his perhaps in his 40s or so, who is commanding over the whole place with a great deal of regale and reverence. But all of this majesty, if you can call it such, is pales in comparison to drawing your eyes towards a single individual, a dark elf, who is hung up by butcher's hooks. A hook goes through each of his shoulders, and a hook goes through each of his from his hips. And as you arrive, the Orbach, the Night King, delivers his sentence. As you have proven to be false, as you have been proven to be a traitor, as you have been proven to be an enemy of the state, I hereby sentence you to death. The chains go in 4 different directions and rip his body apart, and there is a great amount of laughter and clapping and general agreement from the courtiers. Some servants gather up the blood of the drow as it's being spilled and try to collect as much as it can as it leaks out of the arms and the legs and so on, and delivers great goblets of it to the various courtiers, including to the king, but he waves it away. Now is not the time for the refreshment, but the vampires delight in the fresh blood, drinking it from chalices, golden and silver, and reveling in the sheer violence of this execution, which occurs just as we arrive. Joral seems nervous, but he ushers us forward.
Place is beyond foul. We should not be here.
Come. He tries to pull us forward, to hurry us forward.
Does look strong.
Orbach, Supreme Lord and Master of Westgate, Supreme Commander of all that goes on in our city. I bring before you supplicants, enemies of the Zentarum, who are here at your service, my king. He weighs heavily on each of you, looks at you through unblinking bloodshot eyes. Welcome. I am glad that you could attend at my invitation.
I look to anyone else to talk because if I open my mouth, I might just puke.
Moog says, I hear we have common enemies. And you know we're here on a mission for the princess to bring peace to Comeria. You help us and we'll help you with the Zentarum.
What assistance could you possibly offer me?
We hear that you might know where the prince is. And in that regards, we're bringing an army to Zentarum. I'm sure your whispers have told you everything. And you know all about us and what we stand for, else we wouldn't be standing in front of you right now. There must be something you have it in for us, knowing that you know what we want. What more than bringing the downfall of the Zentarum can we do?
I understand that you have amassed a personal army larger than the combined forces of Daggerdale and Shadowdale together.
Why?
And yet your army pales in size compared to the Zentarum's. You have perhaps 1/10 of their troops. How do you expect to prevail?
One step at a time. We have eyes on Tethermer and the Sand Fort. Is their whole army going to be there waiting for us?
Would seem very unlikely. You have the strength then to take Teliomar and to crush Sandfort Shembril?
That's the plan. And once we have it, we'll put a stronghold. We'll be connected to the Underdark and to the top, the surface. And the dwarves will be reclaiming the minds of their kins. And we'll be setting up a town. And the mines will be open again. That's the goal. But to get there, we need to put peace to Comeria. That's why we're here in the first place.
I see. Would you be interested in trade relations with Westgate?
Dwarves are always ready to trade with whoever has the coin. We'll be making some of the best weapons in the world.
Indeed.
Really, the vampires.
You will find our markets most agreeable. Our taxes are low and our regulations are few. You will not find the obstacles to free trade here that you might find elsewhere.
That'd be good to know. Did you know the clans be making the material and the trade routes happen from the economies that take up at the top of the mines in the cities that human folk bring? We would expect something like that to be happening. We can't promise the government, but the clans. Westgate is a fine city to be trading with.
I am confident that we are natural allies. You wish to defend the Dales, and I wish to destroy the Banites. Indeed, the Zentarum, as an organization, are not truly my enemy, but rather I am opposed to their power structure, to their master, I am the enemy of their god. So how can I be of assistance to you? Trade relations we have established, I see, in a more direct fashion. You are the generals, I am your patron. What supplication, what assistance can I provide?
The whole thing about bringing peace to Comeria and getting the rightful king set up in his place seems to be our first order of business. There can't be any peace for my people until that happens. The dwarves and Half-Hap and the dwarves and Tediumar both need a solid government in place. And that's why this party is here on behalf of the princess. This is the last stone to look for information and whereabouts of the prince.
I will consult with my Duke of Whispers and see what leads he has on this particular issue. Master, if I may speak. Yes, knave. What is it? Master, I beg you for a chance to serve you in a greater capacity. You know that the Duke of Whispers is a duplicitous creature that cannot be trusted. You know that he only serves you after having been brought to heel, but my loyalty has always been beyond question. Master, I beg of you that you would promote me into his role, and I will serve you with a greater deal of loyalty, of competence, of ingenuity than he has ever done in the past. I see. And you hope to use these warriors as your tool in your little coup. With your approval and ascension, Master, I would replace the scoundrel who currently sits at your right hand and be a better servant than he has ever been in the past. And what of you? Are you interested in delivering power to this old man at the cost of an agent that has already proven his competence to me? Have you faith in this individual, or should I destroy him for the recklessness and the insistence, the audacity to come here and attempt to manipulate?
We are here because of his words. For that, we would have never come foot. He convinced us. Other than that, we cannot be saying. The affairs of your city are not ours, and we're new to it.
I have assets all throughout the Moonsea, in Mulmaster and Hillsfar, and indeed in your own Daggerdale. My agent has been working for me and tracking your progress from the very first days. Yes, it seems that our alliance has been going on for some time without your knowledge. Perhaps now it is time to step into the open and work together in a more mutually cooperative fashion.
I open my mouth to say something, but then promptly shut it and fold my arms.
You do see that we might be on opposite sides of the coin on other things.
Oh? Which issues are we butting heads with over?
I would say on the whole undead concepts.
Ah, so you are saying that your prejudices are getting in the way of your common sense.
I'm saying that we are from two different worlds.
Ha! How wrong you are. Have you heard the story of Merrydale?
I
No?
haven't.
Well, there was a town in the Dales called Merrydale once upon a time, a joyous place of friends, of family, where dwarves taught humans to forge steel and to mine, and elves taught humans the ways of law and of culture. Humanity eventually surpassed both races, but their tutelage was complete by then. Until the night came. I believe it was the 6th century by Dale reckoning. A infestation of my kind had taken root in the hills, and when they were rooted out, when the consorts of this master was destroyed, the master had his revenge. In a single night, the population of Merrydale was all but eradicated. The bloodsuckers stalked through the streets, feasting on all they could find, smashing their way into some homes and beguiling their way into others. The guards took a stand and did what they could, but they were powerless against a superior foe, an objectively superior enemy. It is said that mothers wept tears of blood that night as they choked their own children with their bare hands, lest they see these children fall, the monsters at the door. Merrydale fell that night, but it was not razed. It changed its name, for there were no one left who was merry anymore, and Daggerdale was its name from that night on. So you see that your very roots lie at the heart of my town. I have been to Daggerdale many times in the past. Indeed, I ruled over it for a time, much more recently than you might think. But my time in the north has passed. I am no longer interested in the Dales nor the Moonsea. My seat of power is here. My ambitions are here. And yet my influences stretch from coast to coast, from the Sword Coast in the west to Karatur in the east. The world is mine, and my power grows with every night that passes. I want one thing more than any other. I want revenge. I despise the Bay Knights. I am in direct opposition to Fazul Shembril, master of the Zentarum, and you are the only entity brave and competent enough to be a true thorn in his side. So we are, indeed, allies and always have been. I have been your master for far longer than you can comprehend. And now it is time for this alliance to be brought into the open, into the sun, so to speak. So, tell me, how can I help?
Information.
Yes, of course. If the Duke of Whispers knows anything, he has not told me. And if he is withholding information from me, he must be punished. Jural, I grant you your wish. You may subsume the role of Duke of Whispers. I am sure that you will serve me in the loyalty. When this is done, I pledge that you will return to the north, to Cormyr and the dales beyond, and you will resume your war against Fazul Shembril. If it takes you all the way to the citadel of the Raven, you will end him. A simple enough deal. I shall give you what you want, Jural. You shall give them all that you find, and then you shall deliver vengeance to me as my tool. You shall be my hand in the north. I will not need to make this personal. I will have no need to dispatch of Fazul Shembril by my own hand, for I trust in your competence and your determination. I trust in your own personal ambitions, for I know that you will not stop until the job is done, and the job is not done, the Dales are not safe until Bane has been driven from this world.
All the things I want to say so badly, but all of them would result in the party's death.
I'm just building my list for things to say afterwards.
Then Jarrell will be our agent and our go-to for information.
Yes, I shall place his information at your disposal. After all, I do not see the sense in hiding my secrets from you. We both want the same thing, and you, as my generals, will be more effective if you are kept well informed.
We're thinking about passage to the Underdark. There's two things going on. The Drow have a madness about them, their own civil war, and the undead are risen, and there's armies about. What can you tell us about that?
The Duke of Whispers has informed me that a silence has fallen over the goddess of Loth. She is no longer answering prayers. She is no longer enforcing the will of her priestesses, and this has brought chaos to the depths. It seems that the armies of the dead have associated with fire giants from deep within the Underdark, and together they are laying waste the entirety of this region and realm of Mayramidra. The specifics have not interested me in any great fashion, though I do understand that the capital city has already fallen, which means that their attention will likely now be turned elsewhere.
And the undead that be crawling in the Underdark?
Yes.
They seem to be led by one of your vampires from Daggerdales.
Yes. I believe that is a misunderstanding. The Ayatollah, such as she is known, is no fanatic. Indeed, they consider her a heretic. She is not loyal to their cause, nor has any true interest in it whatsoever. Instead, the armies are led by the priestesses of Kiaran Sali, a lesser god within the Drow pantheon, one who has always chafed under the influence of Loth, one whose ambition rivals that of the demon princes, a goddess who seeks to become the god of death not simply a minor member of the Drow pantheon. And if she should assume this position, she will then wipe the world clean of all life, so that she is the master of all. And this is an outcome that I would despise. For what pleasure can there be in life if there is not any living to be done?
Can't help but snicker a little bit at that, considering who it's coming from.
What would I rule over then? If the world were dead, where would my pleasure derive from? I would have neither sustenance nor enjoyment. I would have no subjects to serve me. I would have no realm to control. I have no interest whatsoever in this victory for Kiaran Sali. I rarely have time for fanatics of any color.
Aye. What of this plague? That be cursing the land with the blue fire. Do you see any way to put it out?
My understanding is it originated in Mithranor. The nature of this plague remains a mystery even to I, though I am deeply fascinated by it. I have heard reference to such occurrences happening in the truly distant past. In the creation of Evermeet, when the elves brought two worlds together and made one, the stars did change. Yes, the astrology itself, the astronomy of the skies was altered, as our world was sundered and split in twain. The changing of the stars is also recorded in even more ancient texts, those of the primordial beings called the Saruk, thought to still sleep somewhere beneath the Anarok desert. I anticipate that the stars shall change again, and that this blue plague, this plague of fire, is merely the herald of greater changes to come.
Moog looks back. Anything else? With kind of a look. Questions?
I think like this is deliberate. That's, I guess, maybe trying to blend in with the background, just trying to be like he's not one of the important people here. Not avoiding attention, I guess.
Perhaps one thing. Clarification, perhaps. Our goals temporarily align for now, Night King. But you would be mistaken to consider me your general or agent, as I will never be such.
It is a bold
Time
statement
to
to
die.
make for a king in his court.
As you can
A
see,
bold statement, perhaps, but the truth.
my lord, you
Uh,
could see we have two sides of the coin, and I think it all depends on what we like to eat. As we be living and you be dead. But I do see us very much in alignment and on the same side against Isentharum. And you know, we're an open book to what we're wanting. Do you have any other questions for us?
well, I must applaud your courage, for there is few things that I despise more than a treacherous sycophant, and it is for this reason that I seek a changing of the guards. I can no longer trust my intelligence network, and thus it needs to be shaken. As for yourselves, you are a tool, a tool to fulfill my ambition, and I have no higher ambition than the annihilation of the Zentarim's current leadership. And thus I have no interest in retribution against your audacity, for I know that it will only harm my ambition to do so. It is better to have a general who openly questions his king, her king, than to have a general who plots behind his back for his usurpation. You have no interest in taking Westgate from me, and I have no interest in ruling Daggerdale or the lands of Cormia, except from the shadows. We are natural partners, and thus I applaud your courage and honesty.
How benevolent of you. Wield us as a hammer, if you will, but be wary that the weight of said tool does not crush you in the future.
I think the
Careful
mission.
now. It is one thing to be honest to a king. It is quite another to make veiled threats.
Well, my lord, you know we have a mission, and our mission is clear, and obviously you're aligned to it. We do have differences, as you see, and we're not hiding them. But we appreciate your aid and your information. And we can promise the only thing is that we'll be giving hell to the Zentarum. And you know our ambitions, and they're nothing to do with you. Other than mutual interest in the peace of Comer, the downfall of the Zentarum, and their exile from Daggerdales. I think that is as far as our relationship can be taken.
Yes. We are on the same page. We want the same things. I will trust you to fulfill these duties as you see fit. You have not required my heavy hand of guidance in the past, and thus I am sure that you will thrive under your own light. So go now with Joral. Make him the new Duke of Whispers. Know that you are under my protection as long as you are here in Westgate. And I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor ripen on the tree.
Well, thank you for this alliance. And by your leave, we'll be going.
I look forward to your shipments of mithril, iron, and adamantine filling my markets in the future.
Aye. And we look forward to mining it and making it.
You are dismissed.
Let us quit this place.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, thank you. He bows and bows as he backs away like a mandarin.
Moog nods his head as a bow, and like he would to any other high authority, and walks away in the appropriate manner.
You hear one of the vampires say, "You were too kind to them, master. You should not let them speak to you thus." Are you suggesting that I do not know how to rule my own city? No, master, no.
Feel like it was probably refreshing for the Night King. He's surrounded by yes men all the time. Hearing
Right.
somebody who would
Yeah, but
publicly
he
oppose him
kills
is
the
so
no
important.
men though. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's true. I was fully prepared for the Night King to be like, "Well, then you seal your death," and I'd have to roll initiative.
Power word kill.
Make a vampire character.
He knows you
Here,
have
add
99 HP.
this vampire template to your character sheet.
You wake
Yeah.
up with fangs.
I just didn't think it would be in
He-
character to stay silent throughout the whole thing,
Yeah, good. Yeah,
even
good.
if it meant that I got killed.
The script writer
Right.
agrees.
Carrick is being
He's so
by a dragon.
So what was that, Moog?
I said, as the dragon pounces on you, and
Yeah.
you're in melee combat with an undead dragon.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I have uncanny dodge. I'll be good. But
Yeah,
he'll...
I could picture him sicking his whole court on me, and maybe I might have been able to beat them all with all my OP magic items. But I can see it ending with the Night King just sort of looking at the carnage and clapping his hands, and then pointing his finger at me, and I just die.
Mug laughs as he's used by the gods. We just had a miracle happen.
A
She was able
miracle?
to turn us shut for the most part, and we have our skin.
And then your head's like, I have a report when we're back at the ship.
Yes, we go back to the ship.
Yes, I don't want to stay here any longer. Oh, no, actually. Now that I think about it, I do have a little outstanding business.
What does-
Scribbles Vampires sucks on the wall.
Jarrell,
Yeah.
Jarrell needs to give us the information that we need.
Well,
So,
we must overthrow the Duke of Whispers. You must place me in his throne instead. You must elevate me.
It's like, tell them we need to plan.
Bit of dirty
at the
work
ship.
to be done yet.
Yes,
Wait,
I
Jorrell,
plan.
it's your job. You heard your own king. He said that's your job to deal with. You should run along and do your little evil plotting.
I cannot overthrow him without your help. We cannot, and I cannot give you the intelligence he has gathered unless you help me.
how will we be doing this?
Well, it should be easy enough. I am his servant after all. He is my direct master. He will not yet know, I think, that we have appealed to the Night King, but he will learn very quickly. We must act immediately. We must act before he gets wise, before he destroys the intelligence he has gathered.
Is your
So-
master an undead like yourself?
You need to question this?
Well, it does make
Who
me
do you
feel a
think?
little
Who do you
better.
think turned me? Ah, good, yeah.
All right, crazy wizard, what are we going to do? This is your
I-
plan. Tell us.
Are you ready? Are you prepared now? Let us go to his ship. He lurks in a ship in the harbor, preferring to be on the open sea. It gives him the ability to flee, to fly, if he should ever need to. That is why we must act immediately. Don't take any preparations. Simply grab your swords and come.
So don't
Well,
lose
that
your
should be
heads. Tell them we need to plan at the ship.
Let me just throw on my executioner's hat. It's somewhere around here.
Ah, very good. I can see that you are ready, Baron Rabbit.
One less vampire in the world, at least some good might come out of tonight.
Indeed. Let's get this over with.
I can agree with you on this.
Don't push your luck, Jarrell.
But
Master.
only one less, not two.
All right, Master Harper, where are we going? Let us be done with this.
Let us go. And he takes you to a galleon, to a nice luxury ship whose name currently escapes me. And it's sitting about 100 feet offshore. I will obtain some boats for us. Let us row out there, unless you have a better plan.
Small rowboats, less conspicuous than a large ship.
Yes.
Is any
Very
like
good.
We can do that.
Yeah, that'll work.
There we go. We can run to it.
where is it again?
It's about 100 feet offshore.
anything else around it, like other boats or anything?
Sort of. Like it's a fairly busy harbour, and so there are fishermen, for example. Like fishermen are working 24/7 around here. So yeah, the short answer is yes, there are other boats around.
Okay, just trying to. Is there like a vantage point where maybe I could shoot down onto the boat without actually having to get onto the boat?
Ah, right. Yeah, sure. There will be. Can you shoot 100 feet? Can you go down that far?
Short bows can shoot up to 320, and then I've got the sharpshooter, so I don't have a disadvantage.
Brilliant. So you could be on our boat, even in our what's it called, our crow's nest, and you could just sit up in our crow's nest and pluck away at the guy from from the safety of our boat without ever even setting foot onto his. However, it is misty. It is misty and foggy, and that might impede your ambitions somewhat.
They might also be below decks.
And he might be below.
It's
So is
also
Artisan
really-
fighting with us, or is Four Horns fighting with us?
Artisan is currently working on writing up how to make the tanks, so it would be Four Horns always fighting with you.
Fair enough.
All right, lads. Make a wish.
You got to
What
punch
Arctic-
something.
It's like a bull bleat or whatever.
Roar.
Suppose before we head over there, I will summon my dragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so that I know.
Are we close enough to see that ship yet? Or see if anyone's in the
Yeah.
crow's nest or whatever?
Yeah, and the ship looks empty. There doesn't seem to be any crew or anything.
Hmm.
When we get to the harbor, I can cast Water Walk on all of us if you want.
Done.
Convenient.
Just stroll on over.
tactfully walk across the moonlight water?
Ah,
Gonna stealth across the water, or just walk?
I can walk on
So
water,
stealth
but I
would be
can't do
better.
it stealthily.
I guess we're trying like I was gonna say there's nowhere to hide on the water, but if the ship's in the harbor, we could hide in the shadows of ships and obscure our
I
vision.
can create shadows for us.
very good. And there are always waves too, so you can kind of use the waves, as cover, sort of. Yeah.
And also just mask.
Yeah.
I think if you're just sitting in your like boat, just prowling about doing whatever vampires do, and you hear people in plate mail climbing up the side of your ship, I think it's going to be pretty obvious.
I know.
All right. So we've got Pass Without Trace going. The fog gives us advantage on our stealth rolls. Everybody make a stealth roll, but we'll make it as a group check. So even if a couple of us do really badly, as long as the majority of us do pretty well, then that will trump the it'll make up for the people who
Ooh, that
are
was
less
a 5.
competent.
Oh, just finish with his
28.
38.
Yeah.
38.
I guess it'd be a
Okay.
16 with the plus 10.
Very good.
Yeah, I think our worst roll is a 16.
Excellent. So that's great. Where is the dragon? I'm not talking about the token. I'm trying to look for it.
Yeah, I forgot about the dragon. Probably stealth that thing as well.
Yeah. Good call. Zessa, there he is. Zessa the dragon.
So that'd be 26 for the dragon.
Magnificent. All right. And Jaral is with us. I haven't put him down on the map, but he is with us as well. Where's find him in a moment. There he is. Cool. So we walk across the water. And how do we get up onto the ship? It's a galleon. It's a big ship, but there's apparently no crew.
See.
Is there?
I
Okay.
mean, usually stuff strewn across the ship where you can climb up. You
Yeah,
can
abs-
Maybe
and stuff.
yeah. Like you mean anchors and nets and like there's so many ropes on a boat, right? So many ropes. Yeah.
Especially if it's
Or-
just anchored in the
And
harbor.
since we're just standing on the surface of the water, perhaps it depends on how wavy it is. We could just wait for an appropriate wave and just jump up and climb up onto the ship.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And how high up is it?
Uh,
The wall of the ship?
well, because of the waves, it varies. Somewhere between 25 and 5 feet, depending on the size of the swell, I suppose. But it's not a major obstacle for us. As we pointed out, there are ropes and handholds and gun walls and so on.
Hmm.
Should I announce my presence, or will we go in there, swords blazing?
This is your plan, wizard. You tell us.
All right, all right. And he climbs up. Master, master, I have a message for you from the Night King.
a
You're
message
fired.
indeed.
Gerard, I had wondered when I would see you again. You have been lying suspiciously low as of late. Come in, Gerard. I have much to discuss with you. Yes, master. Uh, I deliver a message, one that you will be most surprised to hear. And you see that he does have crew, disembodied crew, black shadows, pirates who no longer have bodies, just their dark, corrupted souls working. This place is luxurious, elaborate and luxurious. There's all manner of decadence here, as if the vampire who can't enjoy the fruits of life insists on surrounding himself with them all the same.
Hmm.
Come in, Gerard. Tell me what it is that I am so desperate to learn.
Sir, we've climbed up onto the ship and now we've gone into like a cabin or something.
Exactly, that's right. Into the hold or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Right away, master. Ah, Duke, my Lord Duke. Uh, Allow me to introduce my entourage. They have been sent here. They are the latest recruits in the Night King's ever-growing army. There is an awful lot of them, Gerard. You know that I am rarely comfortable with strangers. Indeed, you are threatening to expose my position wide open. Oh, yes, my Duke. That is what we intend to do. To blow you wide open! Attack!
This guy is not very good at being covert.
That was close enough.
Yeah, we got close enough. They'll take it. Ooh, 3. Don't like that.
Not a 2.
You rolled a 2 and you still got an 11. Nice.
Some reason my Echo still has initiative for me, but that's actually Fourhorn's initiative. It goes on his turn.
Roll20 is really lagging for me, but it's just Roll20 and maybe Google. So I'm gonna shut it down and reload it. I think.
Also, this map doesn't seem to be locked to a grid of any kind. I can see squares vaguely on the floor, but we're not
Those
actually
are
locked to
those
it.
are actually on the image. There's not actually a grid on this map.
It's
There's no
affecting
grids, there's no
Discord as
laws
well.
to follow.
Right?
I'm
Freeform.
gonna reboot the computer.
I've done gridless 5th edition before. It doesn't change too much, but we only played to like 2nd level.
Fair enough.
Like
You
when I
just have to
DM'd, I
measure
just took all the grids off.
Yeah, I guess you just have to measure from the edge of your token to wherever you want to go. Bit weird.
Because you can still do that. Like you pick up your token and right click to place waypoints.
Hmm.
It should be interesting to see how powerful of a wizard this guy is. How he just like fucks us up with like one spell.
That's
Such
what
a
Bring on
flying
the psychic
space.
screen.
I was gonna say you beat me to
Yeah.
it.
Bring on the psychic screen.
Since I get at the top of the order, I'm going in. I'm just gonna use both of my attacks, hit 6 attacks. I'm gonna use them for my points on, and that'll be it. Then someone's gonna have to revive.
Can you even
Au
make it to it?
contraire.
Wait, where's the door? Is the door there where the barrels are?
I think so.
The new guy rolled a 22 Moog, so it will be him going first.
Who are you going for? The ads
Boiling
or the
for a
big boss?
He's going to go for the boss. He can make it to him in one turn.
Sweet.
Might as well throw the cannon fodder at the boss.
I don't know. I have a feeling that this cannon fodder that you call him is going to be very formidable in combat.
Every wizard's killed Moog so far in all of our combats.
Have they really?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much target your wisdom save and you got.
Well, at least if you're in close proximity to me, you get a little bit of a boost to it.
There you go.
You're also immune to being charmed and frightened if you're within close proximity to me. Which is quite fortuitous, as I would be very annoyed fighting a charmed Moog.
The funny thing is, though, you stand beside you to get the save, but at the same time, if I wasn't standing next to you, maybe you just don't get hit.
True. Finnick gets charmed, turns around, hits me with his longbow for like
Oh, man.
60
If I get
seconds.
charmed, I'm gonna like dump the full payload.
Yeah,
Aha!
just one shot someone.
TPK. That's it.
I doubt I can hit anyone though. You'll got like 26 AC.
It's a bitch, man. It's yeah. It's a really
As the-
Whether you use sharpshooter or not.
As the pleb in the party with less than 20 AC.
You're no longer the pleb. Four Horns has 18. And no magic items except for his fists.
teenage AC. That's so childish.
I know.
Like,
it's so weird
my
after having
AC
a character that has
mortgage
28
and a house.
AC and disadvantage.
Alright. Did I put down the wrong one? The echo has the right. I understand. Yeah, cool. All right. Duke of Whispers. Yep. Doral. Okay, very good. Okay. Four Horns, you're on the ball. Attack!
All right. So, firstly, the Echo is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I think. And bonus action, Four Horns is going to swap places with him and run the remaining 25 feet that he has.
That's how it's done.
And he's going to do 2 unarmed strikes. But he's also going to make one of those a stunning strike.
You're a monk fighter, multi-class.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not.
It's a good start.
It's not at
Yes.
advantage, but 28.
It's pretty. It'll do. It'll do.
Rolls a casual 19. Nice.
That's it.
And
Stunning strike. You probably want to do it
Yeah.
your first. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
What the hell? Damn.
so 12 plus 6. Is that right? Yeah. Ooh, I rolled terrible. Yeah, and the stunning strike, he has to do a con save or be stunned until the end of my next turn. Ah, he passes.
Ah, yes, stunning strike. The reason why DMs hate monks.
Yeah. Monks, they seem to underperform a lot of the time, and then they do a stunning strike, and yeah, it's all your plans just go to waste. All right, so Moog, you watch as this skull-faced minotaur launches himself in there and just starts punching fuck out of this dude, and yeah, credit where it's due. The guy can throw a fist. You might be muted, maybe.
He is muted in the Discord.
Sorry, 6 dwarven throwers. I'm using
There we go. Action surge.
Yeah, action surge for 6 attacks.
That's pretty outrageous.
Nice.
Fucking hell! This game's
that-
over.
If I miss, I'm going to use the
You
Precision.
didn't miss.
I know that's first one.
And the crit. Oh,
What is going on?
This is statistically impossible.
Oh my lord.
The Night
Oh
King is
my
with us.
God.
The Night King is with us.
All those crits. That's crazy.
So
Armor
did
class
I,
is it's like
did I miss
20
any
or
of
something.
them? I missed
I think
some.
you missed. Yeah, I think you missed the last one. Yeah, armor class 20.
I'm gonna do
Oh,
a
and
die.
19 as well. So you missed 2.
Okay, well I'm gonna use 2 superior dice to add to that for.
Okay, they're both gonna hit. So this is bullshit.
That's it. That's all he's got. He's been killed by every wizard you've sent his way.
Right. Yeah,
Always
that's
missed everything. So that's it. So that's the damage.
that's his one trick pony. But God, what a pony! Fucking hell. All right, so 20 plus 18 is 38, plus 25 is like 43, 63, I think, plus 22 is 85, 98, 116. Yeah, I think that's 116.
I got 121.
All right, we'll
100.
go with yours because it's close enough.
Christ.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Flightless.
Well, I'm not. I can't do that much damage.
Breaking triple digits.
Yeah, so I guess he's got the boss. So I'll. What is it? Bonus action, side for fighting on the nearest shadow. Might as well start getting rid of some of these minions. And then he'll go and stab it. So first that would be a deception check for the shadow.
Sure. This is our Duke of Whispers, by the way. Beautiful.
This is very classy.
He is, right? Like, the man's got style.
Must be beautiful after having his face crushed in by that relentless blow.
Right,
Or
yeah.
series of blows.
He didn't look like that a few moments ago, but now he does. Yeah, I don't think he can beat the 27, so I'm not going to bother rolling.
Yeah, okay, then rapier.
22 will do.
And it is magic rapier.
17 is just barely enough. 16 hit points.
And that would be the end of his turn.
Alrighty. Finnick.
Sweet. I'd like to climb up to this table. My
Excellent.
climbing speed.
He kicked some hams and olives aside.
Wait, where is this guy? Oh, there he is.
There he
Walked
is.
past him. I'm gonna go for the trick shot. I'm gonna bonus action cast lightning arrow.
Aha.
Nah, only 15.
15 is not enough, but you have inspiration if you choose to care to use.
Yes. 20.
That's more like it. A armor class is exactly 20, so that's exactly what you need. And I think that our challenge rating 17 encounter is about to come to an end.
I can't remember what the DC for this. Dexterity saving throw for the arrow.
All right.
I will do the damage on the thing.
Oh shit! Look at these dex saves. Plus 13.
Damn.
What the
Jeez.
fuck?
Nice.
He
So
got
half.
moves?
That then?
Yeah.
So then the
That's
damage
where-
is that.
So
Oh.
where's the other 4 of the 17 spread out?
All right, so that, like 62 halved is 31, brings him to -4. 168 hit points he had until about 2 seconds ago. All right.
Was that's what like 8 crits in a row does?
Ah, wait, I've
So
just realised some of that's
Uh-huh.
not actually meant to be there.
Aha!
I ticked the box incorrectly.
I see.
That's annoying.
He lives. He can recover from this.
The bottom bit, half arrow of slaying, is only for dragons, so that 2 plus 2 plus 10 plus 3. Actually, what is it? Oh, it's the 7 plus 8 plus 15. It's not meant to be there.
Right, so an extra 20 that he didn't take, which is 33 plus 9, 42.
He'll get one round in this combat.
21. No, well, he won't. But you know, but he'll get to it. Be attacked by one more person.
No, he's
So, yeah,
next,
he's
isn't
still.
he?
Oh,
And then I
he's
make
next. You're
My
right.
second attack.
Oh,
okay.
second attack. 19.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
19. Oh, you knocked the top hat off his head, but it's not enough.
That's my turn.
All right.
Left on like 1 HP.
Bring on the legendary
Yeah.
actions.
Indeed. Okay. So he launches himself into combat and tries to stay as hidden as he can, which is not very, and uses his 3 attacks on Moog. The silent scream. 1, 2, 3.
Do I get an opportunity attack?
Where are you? Oh,
I was
yeah,
standing right
suppose,
beside him.
yeah, you were. You're right next to him. Yeah, I think so. Um, he's a swashbuckler though, right? And they have that
Panache.
yeah,
if they
the
attempt
that's
to hit me.
If you
Thank-
hit, you have to attack a creature for that to activate.
right.
And it'll trigger the
So yeah,
effect
so I
of that
guess
creature.
so I guess you do get to attack him. He'll just go for you instead. I didn't actually see you there, so he'll just go for you instead. A 22, a 28, and a 24.
All of them will hit.
All of them will hit, and they will all be sneak attack because yeah, he doesn't need to have an ally, or if he doesn't have an ally, he gets sneak attack. So I guess the sneak attack only applies once though. You only get 1 sneak attack.
It doesn't say that.
Oh,
It's true, it doesn't say that.
You only get sneak attack once per turn as a rogue.
But
yeah, you're right.
but he
Makes
isn't
sense.
he isn't a player class rogue. He's an
He
NPC.
doesn't play craft rogue.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So I said, yeah, you're right. That's the proper ruling. You're right. So it is 33 plus 29 is 62. 33. No.
That's
9
not
plus 24 plus 12 plus 12 would be 57.
That is a chunky hit.
33 plus 12 is 45 plus 17 is 62 plus another 32 is 94 points of damage.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Giving it out just as much as he's taken it.
That's it. You survived that?
Yes.
I thought you would. But will you survive the shadows? 2 shadows come for you. 2 shadows come for Moog.
No.
Um,
The strength reduces 0, never mind.
and 3 shadows go for Finnick.
Yeah, Finnick might be in danger of trouble.
Okay, so 2 on the Minotaur. 1, 2. What is this? 22 and a 16. So 22 will hit. 11 damage. You're still not down, I assume. Minotaur.
I'm sorry. I am down.
Oh, all right. You go down. 2 of them attack Moog. $22 Moog. Not enough.
25 AC.
And 3 on Finnick. 1, 2, 3.
I
15
think I
and
just got
16.
so lucky that none of those hit me.
Right, like the 22s went to everyone else, right? Yeah.
I was watching, it's like a 22, 22. They're so going to get hit here.
Because
I want to use my.
if those hit, I don't think the damage would be the issue. I think it'd be the strength.
No.
Look at the strength, because
Absolutely.
I've only got 8 strength. If it gets like between the 3 add up to 8, I die instantly.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna use one of my rolls and do a repose on this dude.
All right.
Plus
Brilliant.
this 21 damage.
Devastating.
Just got hit with 108 damage.
108 damage in the first round. Get
Oh
out
my
of
God.
here! Shoo!
I shouldn't have said anything about an opportunity attack.
Indeed.
Yeah. Fighters get
Mo could
absolutely
have taken
nothing
it.
once they get 3 attacks.
And he chokes one of the shadows into non-existence.
Hate it when that happens.
Sildarin.
Move down here so I can see what I'm looking at.
So Darren comes in with the nuke that just. Yeah, but you can't do nukes on because.
Oh fuck!
Unholy stuff,
I
you can't do
hate
it.
clerics.
Don't want to do anything that kills our friend.
He's not your friend. He's just a dude in a skull mask.
Right? I don't even know his name.
Right?
Jarrell, don't hurt Jarrell.
Then Jarrell. That king will be probably a bit upset.
That guy's over there. So let's see if I can arrange myself.
See everybody.
I can get within the big range of the big guy anyways. Eleanor can finish those shadows off out there. We'll move further into this room and then we'll use that destructive wave.
That's what we want.
Attack.
Everybody loves a good destructive wave.
On a boat.
Wait, did I
On a boat.
did I die or did I just am I doing death saving throws?
Yeah, just death saves. Yeah, I was pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
the Duke
reduces
didn't.
strength, yeah.
Yeah, and reduce your strength by 1, so not too much.
So yeah, it'll do. What does it do? 30 points of thunder and then 5d6 radiant.
The shadows can't survive. And nor can the Duke. The Duke's on less hit points than the shadows. So Blast. I saw Boba Fett yesterday, and they do that awesome sound where he drops the depth charges. You first hear it in like Attack of the Clones in Episode 2. Whoa! It's such a great sound, like made for cinema. Anyway, whoa! It lets out the destructive wave, and just the undead just dematerialize before your eyes.
There's the range of destructive wave. Would it get these ones out here? Are they out of range? I don't even know the range.
30 feet, I think.
Oh yeah, 30
Never mind.
feet. I think.
They're out there.
Is it 30 feet? Yeah, 30-foot
so.
radius.
All right, Eleanor, they left you some.
Yeah. Guess I'll clean up the scraps, or at least try. Against one of the shadows for 8 slashing and 7 radiant.
All right, is 15 leaves it on a hit point.
That's that's annoying.
It is
I'll
right.
just try and 15. Does that hit it?
That does it and destroys it.
All right, and then I'll go for the other one.
Bam.
9 and an 8.
17 is enough, and we clean it up in the first round.
Yeah, I feel like if we
Oh,
went
oh.
like sicko mode in the Night King's court, we might have even won that.
Guess
I-
if just nonchalantly make my way over to like a dead friend and put cure wounds into his dying body.
Brilliant. I really thought you were going to go over nonchalantly and just put the hat on. That was your stick. Because rabbits look great in Stetsons, man. They really do.
He's gonna get up. He's gonna like come back to consciousness, just punching in the air. And he's gonna look and see it. He's there. He's like, I got him.
I didn't hear no bell.
What a great
He's
hero
also-
down in the first round.
Down
What
to the
now?
first round.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and do whatchamacallit, second wind, because why not?
Sure.
We've
You
got
can
enough
have one of
stuff.
those.
Hey.
If you need a supreme, we've got supremes.
Gerald
I think we
starts
should
looking for
probably
his
save the
notes.
Supremes.
Yeah. They're pretty useful.
Pretty
Sure.
expensive non-combat
Indeed.
healing.
Gerald starts looking for the notes, and he uncovers these.
Couldn't this guy be on our team? He's dressed so much more swaggy than our guy.
The other guy's like a real step down, hey?
Yeah.
Swaggy, you reckon? Yeah, that's an appropriate word.
What's 10,000 monsters foot?
Like, I
Bad
assume
news.
goblins, gnomes, no, not gnomes, orcs, such.
Or it could be monstrous in terms of like ogres and whatnot, which would be
Yeah,
pretty
even
bad.
just anything monstrous, I would assume. But 30,000 foot, I think that's like already more than what we have.
It's a lot.
What was that guy's
15.
wisdom modifier? If you don't
So much more than we
mind.
have. And never mind, they just have a pit fiend. Why did I bypass that?
And a Cornugon and an Eren
There we go.
Oh, look. They've got 20 wizards. If one can kill Moog, what can 20 do?
Huh?
Stormhorn. The boy is in storm horns.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished, lads. That's it.
The difference that 20 mages could make to a battlefield scenario, just 20 fireballs, just completely change the time of the battle.
But you wouldn't want to put all 20 in the single battle, though, would you? You know, like,
No.
like that's pretty foolhardy.
You guys think I should have put hold person on him instead of stunning strike?
Stunning strike was a good
I
choice. It
realize.
just didn't work.
Okay.
You know, like yeah, it was a good choice. In any case, legendary resistance.
So what?
He would have
So
legendary resistance to
paralysis?
whatever you did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Forgot that was a thing.
It's like when your boss is going to live one round, just use whatever you can.
Hell yeah.
I could have done see if I had not used my echo for the teleportation and just moved with him. I could have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 technically. 8 attacks that round.
Yeah, so you get the most attacks.
Yes. Because if you use an attack action with, you can also unleash Incarnation and make your Echo attack. And Action Surge applies to that as well. Not to mention the unarmed strikes, which because I would use a key point as well, I get an extra unarmed strike. Good. Good.
This guy thinks the Joral's useless.
Lol.
So, what say you this information?
Have we still got Rayleigh's telepathic bonds, and is that guy part of it? I can't remember or not.
He's not part of it.
What we say, 2 vampires don't leave this place.
No, you need to be working with him.
We already have the information. We don't need him anymore.
We can get more.
Not of what the information is correct about this guy. It's fucking useless, apparently.
Do we want to take this information and go on our way, or do we want to start double crossing the, and getting into more trouble with?
It's not double crossing if you haven't promised your allegiance to anybody.
Yeah, but we're in his land, and we just said we'd work with this guy for passing information. So if we kill that guy, then
Well, you know my thoughts and opinions. So
Well,
Just a suggestion.
if the
Saying
notes
this,
are
he's not very
correct,
useful.
it may do more damage
yeah.
to leave him in the position. If he manages to keep the position, the Night King will have a weak advisor, and if his weakness is discovered, he'll be killed anyway.
I
Suppose
I
that's
wasn't
just
once he's
I
got
wasn't lawful
still has
good.
custom heart for
Go ahead.
his old life, so he hasn't gotten off with that. We
Yeah.
can give him a warning.
Yeah,
We'll
if I
become-
wasn't lawful good and Flightless wasn't good, I would suggest the ultimate power play here would be to kill Jaral, then return to the Night King and suggest that you be his Duke of Whispers instead.
Yeah, but Flightless just doesn't trust the guy. I have 15 reasons here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Well,
just saying that
15
if you
reasons.
were-
You're going to get 15 reasons why. You're going to turn it into series.
Yeah,
Huh.
of course.
if we had a different alignment, that would be a pretty interesting power play.
It's a Heath Ledger movie.
I guess we can sit
Indeed.
here and have like a quick meeting over why he just doesn't trust the Night King.
Fair
Is any
enough.
of this food like good?
Yeah, it's magnificent. Like, which is ironic because he can't eat it. It's fucking fantastic food.
Well, if you-
I want to eat
if
it, but
you
I'm pretty
guys
sure it's going to be like
kinda-
poisoned.
Or anything of you said he's a swashbuckler. Is there
Yes,
any swords or anything of value to us
a
that
dagger. Yeah, I'll share his magic items again.
The Helm of
Um,
Telepathy, the Amulet of Non-Detection, and Silent
That's
Screen.
it. Yeah, silent screen.
I'm with
Plus 2
telepathy,
dagger
that's
to
a good-
cast off. Yeah.
Jarrell,
Sounds nice.
you saw how fast we took care of your boss. Don't make us come looking for you.
Yes.
Hopefully, the
Well,
only reason
why?
you should keep your skin is because there's some Harper left in you that I see. But don't make me be regretting.
Yes, I remain loyal. Oh, no, sir. I remain loyal to the cause. The Harpers are all but gone. There are few of us left. I am still a friend of Storm Silverhand and Shadowdale. Look at this. The loss of Elminster, trapped in the living labyrinth in Avernus. Now we know where he can be found.
Hmm.
Is this boy Is he in Stormhorns, or is he the Boy King
Well,
was taken by privateers and hidden among the pirate isles? Which one of these makes more sense?
if he is in the Stormhorns and being looked after Vandergahast, then he is already safe. Vandergahast was the right-hand vizier of King Azun IV. There was no person King Azun trusted more than Vandergahast. No one. If he has the boy, and it is a fair conclusion to make, for Vandergahast has not been seen since the boy disappeared, then the boy is safe. However, surely he would have told that to the Princess Regent. Why would he keep this secret? It's not as if he has anything to gain by seeing Cormyr tear itself apart.
There's evil viziers whispering in the ears of all the royals. Maybe he fears everybody.
Perhaps. He is a cunning fellow after all. He was the brains behind King Azun's long rule. He would never have survived as long without Vendergahast. Perhaps he simply doesn't have confidence in the Princess Regent. Perhaps he is simply waiting for the right time to reveal the Boy King. But surely that is now. The brink of civil war is upon us. How much longer will he wait?
I'm not sure, actually. According to this, many of the prominent figures within Cormyr have been won over to the side of the Netherese. If he were to appear, it might very well cause the civil war.
Perhaps. Perhaps you are right. As for this other rumor, taken by privateers and hidden in the pirate isles, well, there are more than 1,000 isles in the inner sea, and less than a tenth of them are inhabited. It would make a very fitting place to hide a small boy. You could easily raise a child there, completely unaware of their own destiny. I have heard stories of such things in the past.
I'm more willing to believe that Vanderkahast has taken him into his custody.
Can we see a map? Where is Stormhorn?
Absolutely. Yeah, cool. Stormhorns are actually really close to Half Hap, I'm pretty sure. Here's Cormyr.
Oh, we miles away from half that. I think.
Oh yeah, we're a sea, literally a sea away.
I think Stormhorns is off the map, like right here. A little bit off the map to the west.
Surely we've got to have fast mode of transport by now. Hopefully.
Well, yeah. Do we have teleportation circle or anything? I guess not.
I have access to it, but I don't have it in my
Plane
book.
shift.
Right.
Still hoofing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are the Stormhorns. These are the Thunder Peaks in the east, and that's the NS in Stormhorns right here. So that mountain range is the Stormhorns. And I think Half Hap was. Oh, there it is. It's on the map there. But technically, Half Hap is at the base of the storm. At least the easternmost of the storm.
So is this all this like mountainy shit here?
Yeah, not the brown stuff. That's Badlands. It's like kind of like desert, basically. Yeah, and yeah, these white things are the mountains. Yeah.
Oh, I've done this whole Cormyr thing. If we're heading all the way back up there, could we bypass it and I want to actually visit my town for once?
Indeed.
I'm not sure we can. It says it's in his sanctuary in the Stormhorns, and if that's a wizard, like an Archmage's sanctuary, we're not going to find it. I feel like it would take another Archmage to figure out where his sanctuary is.
And Jorel thinks that if that is correct, and it's obviously only a rumor or an assumption, but if that is correct, then he's safe anyway. You know.
Yeah. So
Maybe,
I think we
maybe.
can. Yeah, I'm willing to believe that, like in character, that he's in Vanderkahast's custody. It makes sense, seeing as Vandercast himself has disappeared.
What about the Red Wizards? They're on the way up that way. We can always ask them. How would you locate a wizard's hidey hole?
Is teleportation circle a ritual spell?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I say we tell him to search the Isles and send his spies to the Isles looking for him and get back to us. And then we go back to the princess and either tell her what we found or we go investigate without telling her. Because there's something that isn't untrustworthy about the princess.
I mean, we don't really have anything, do we? He might be here, he might not.
Well, we found
Okay.
a live lead. That's actionable intelligence that she could use.
Hmm.
So she might have things. So it's up to Lady Eleanor to decide if we tell the princess or we go there by ourselves.
I think she can be trusted.
We could even ask her wizard friend to teleportation circle us somewhere, if she can.
Why?
So we can skip the walk from there all the way up to the Half Hill Mountains.
Although if we do go there and we somehow find the sanctuary, and sure enough the hidden king is there, I'm not sure what we'll then do.
I suppose just
Like-
confirm he's there alive and not against his will. Because remember, it's just knowledge of his aliveness is what we need.
Yes.
Probably inquire why he's keeping him there on the down low
Probably because if they revealed
while the country burns.
Probably because if they revealed that he was alive, all the people allied with the Netherese would try to assassinate him. I feel like it's the rumor that he may or may not be dead that is preventing civil war. And if he was confirmed dead, then civil war would definitely happen. So I feel like we have to get Cormier into a place where he doesn't have to fear immediate assassination before he can return.
I thought the way to stabilize Cormier was to bring him back. Or
Yeah,
at least
so
say
just-
he's still alive.
It's a tricky situation for sure.
So regardless, we got to get back to the boat and go back to the princess.
Yeah, I think regardless, we're heading back up north. Yeah.
And I think regardless, we need to cut ties with this Night King. Like, he's no good. Like, everything I
Well, we
thought
said-
about him is true.
Mhm.
His first
Well, then-
sentence to us was an indirect threat to kill us.
I think we're good with just leaving Jarrell and getting out of here and not having. Let's not kick over the bee's nest before we get out of town.
Yeah, I don't know about murdering Jaral, but I'm definitely in favor of business concluded.
We're not
Like,
being
we got-
murdered when we make
Yeah,
a deal.
Yeah, Jaral got what he wanted. The Night King's going to be getting what he wants because we're going to be fighting the Zentarum.
And also, I think if you listen, the Night King didn't actually promise Moog anything, but Moog promised the Night King a lot.
What did I promise him?
The trade, future dealings. He treated you like a servant, and you acted the part.
Acting. We got information from him. Of course, we'll trade with him. We'll trade with anybody. And we got information.
He offered things, but we never asked for anything. Yeah. He asked how we could help, and we said, give us information, and I guess we've got that. So, right or wrong, it's kind of he kind of delivered, really, in a way.
Yeah,
In a way.
we didn't commit to working for him other than attacking the Zentharum, and the only thing we did is we took out whoever Jarrell wanted taken out, and that's it. We're done.
Yeah, there's also the wild card of Elminster here. Like, we've disappeared and we figured out where he is now. If we can get Elminster back on the board as a piece, then things could be very different.
He could be continuing to bring us information too. We don't know. Jarrell owes us. Night King seems to be on our side right now. That's good. Any information they bring is valuable. Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah, it's a good outcome. How long has it been since we leveled? We did it just after Old Mate, didn't we? Just after.
No, that's not updated. Never mind.
Just,
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
after
say,
Vaughn, I think.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure this
just
combat encounter we just had was the first one we've
Yeah,
had since
the first
we
one
leveled.
since. Yeah, guess what I thought. I just wanted to check. Because we achieved we achieved quite a lot in this session. Even though we might not want to admit it, or it might not be obvious.
Yeah, I guess we'll just wait a little bit longer, so it doesn't seem like we're
When was the last level? So I
leveling
can write
too
it
quick.
down.
After
Killing.
defeating
After we dealt with
Althor.
Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn. Yeah.
So back to the boat. Say goodbye
back
to
to the
I
boat.
think so, yeah. Although,
All
as I
right.
mentioned, I'd have some business I want to attend to first. I can take care of
Sure.
on my own.
save all of your bleeding heart children.
Oh yeah, resurrect that dead guy.
Yeah, of course, that's up to Sildaran, because I'm not capable of casting that spell. But the business I'm talking about is the temple I gave the corpse to ask for 1,000 gold, and I gave them 100, and I'm planning to give them the other 900.
Very good. Very good. They tell you what they'll be using it for, which is basically to train the next the next round, the next generation of young wizards. So it'll be going to level 1 to level 3 good aligned wizards to help them. It's kind of what Cyclone was pretending to do, or what Cyclone wanted to do. Provide education for promising, good-hearted children to keep them, from falling into the clutches of gangs.
Yeah, just a little spark of hope within the shadow of Westgate.
Yeah,
In order to
precisely.
give them that coin, I'd need to liquidate some stuff.
Sure.
I thought we
Speaking
had.
of liquidating,
I thought we had the direct coinage for that.
the direct
So we
coinage.
can get it from Jarrell. Jarrell, you got 1,000 gold pieces here. Off the
Yeah, we
boat.
have 29,000 gold in the thing.
We do, but I don't want to just yoink money from the party wealth.
That's fine. Let's get out of here.
Okay, then I'll just yoink from the party wealth. Just to make it simple. Also, don't forget we still have artwork and trade goods that we could sell, but that can
Here's a
wait.
good place to sell them. Well, can it wait? There's no markets in Suzail apparently. Cunt's fucking burning. Marsimba's not much better. Arabelle's too small, and what are you going to take them to Zental Keep? If we don't sell them in Westgate, where will we sell them?
Good point.
I can't raise that guy from the dead till tomorrow morning anyways.
Flightless still like me. Please leave. This isn't safe. And everyone's ignoring.
But money.
Money.
So we had really bad deal for the trade stuff here, so we'll sell it somewhere else, won't we?
Well, it's because it was a bad deal because we have to negotiate a good deal. That'll take some time. Like the art and the trade goods and whatnot, we need to find proper buyers. If we just flog it to anyone, we won't get anywhere near what it's worth.
Of course. Jarrell, give us some money for this. You need to get out of here.
Jarrell knows people. He's Lord of Whispers.
Yeah.
Duke of Whispers. Now he
technically
knows
is
people.
now, yeah.
He can hook you up. Yeah.
He owes us a favor anyway. We just took out his boss.
Precisely. And he wants to buy some goodwill. He wants to show that we're in this together, and nobody's going to cross him. He's an underling, a direct underling of the Night King now. People would be mad to rip him off. Fucking suicide. So
Now will we take the extra day or
so,
two to sell these properly then?
Just have them
like
stop.
Flightless definitely wants to get moving. He's very clear about that. But on the other hand, Jarrell is like, I place myself at your disposal. So,
if I can just go through a few of my reasons why I just don't trust the Night King.
yeah, absolutely. I don't. I don't think you're alone in that regard.
I think the way I'll lay out my reasoning, and then maybe have Flightless make an insight to see if I'm adding close to what you tried to put across. Because the first thing you said was an indirect threat to killers. And then he boasted about taking a good aligned village and turning it into something evil, as it was something, proud to do. And he keeps saying he's not interested in the Dales, but he very clearly is. He has a history there, and he said he has influence there. What makes us think we're not just trading the Zentarum for him in the long run?
We might be. We need a BBEG.
And he treats his own so poorly that do you really trust him to put you in, if he gives you a high position, to treat you well? When he treats his advisors so poorly? And also, he just goes back on his word as well. You don't just make someone your advisor. That's a promise from both ends that he will be loyal and you'll be loyal to him. And he just turned back on that immediately and it's betrayed his own.
They're evil bloodsuckers.
Yeah, so why do you trust him?
I don't be trusting him. He's giving us real information.
And also, do you just listen to him speak? Like he speaks like he already owns you.
He
Probably
says
just
it
thinks
acts like he's already using us for his like a tool.
Because
we're going to do it anyway. So
I don't think anybody trusts him. I just don't think he's likely to kill us immediately. There's really be no point to it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth working for him, though.
You're a thief. You know how where the world is.
Who said Flightless was a thief?
Aren't you a rogue? A lawful good rogue?
Yes, but in game, he wouldn't describe himself as a rogue.
Right. However, you're wise of the ways of the underworld, and no one trusts him.
And wisely, he doesn't interact with it.
Have you ever heard the term smile fucking?
Excuse me?
Have you ever heard the term smile fucking?
No.
No.
That's exactly what was going on with smile fucking, where that's how all states do business with each other. That's just diplomacy. I trust him not, but we got good info. Let's get out of here and go back.
All right, we can sell this stuff later then. That's me talking out of character, by the way, about selling stuff. I just wanted to remind everybody that we have things to sell.
Yeah. All right. So is the decision made? We're setting sail?
I think so.
Not a moment too soon, Brotor says. And he cuts the cutter. For the record, the government or the gangs or both were looking after our ship. There's a group of about 8 or so thugs and pirates who've been watching our boat for us. We paid a premium for them to do so, and they're good on their word. We paid for the protection money, and we got the protection.
Nice.
All right. Thus we set sail, and across the inner sea, until we come back to the city of Suzail in Cormia.
Right, to the palace.
All right.
Also, we've been gone like a day or two. Looking at the state of the city, does it look like it weathered another attack in our absence?
Oh, we've been gone about 15 days or more, actually. It took about 8 days to get across there and about 8 days to get back.
A lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Is there any
and
thanks.
No, it's looking pretty stable. Like they haven't fixed anything, but no further damage has been done either.
Looks like the dragon and its rider, after getting stung by us, reconsidering being so bold.
Yeah. So yeah, bloodied his nose. That's exactly right.
In the 8 or 9 days that Artisan's been working on it, has he finished converting the 2 into 1? I guess you could call it.
I don't understand the question.
The machines that he was working on, the plans he was working on, joining the plans to making it be able to go on land, and also maybe sand
dive. Probably not going to work. Yeah, it's probably not going to work. Like you could make a drilling digging machine that goes through sand, but you can't make a submarine that does that as well, not without turning into a transformer at least. And that
No,
increases
not
the
making
thrusting.
it for us as a submarine, but making it as a land vehicle that can go into sand, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. So that's a completely different vehicle then. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can design something like that. Yeah, but you couldn't have the same thing do both. So yeah, if you wanted to design a sand drilling tunneling thing, then yeah, you can have been working on that and have the idea behind that. Absolutely. Um, but these plans that you've got for the apparatus for Qualish and for the Scarlet Marplenorth, which is the submarine, are kind of exclusive to that. So you can draw inspiration from them and try to adapt them, but ultimately you'd be looking at making an entirely new design from scratch. With just a little bit of inspiration from the previous designs. Yeah, so it's certainly possible, um, but um, but it's a completely different machine.
Okay. Would I be near finished with making the new one, or making the
With the making
theoretical
of the
new one?
designs,
Or
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Like you can have the blueprints done up by now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, cool. So you've got a third set of blueprints now. You've now got blueprints for apparatus, blueprints for a submarine, and blueprints for like I don't know a desert mole or a drilling machine or whatever. And this is this is what I think of every time. I'll see if I can find a picture. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. I found it, so that's good. Every time you mention it, this is probably like a far too old a reference for most people to be able to appreciate, but here it is. Anyone ever see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon?
Oh,
Yeah.
They used to drill through the earth in their in their drill.
Yeah. The goal is, because the animals that swim through the sand to hunt people are probably going to be dissuaded when something larger, or at least it's making a lot more noise, is going in the same layer as they are, and they won't
But
recognize it.
this is like a personal machine, or like you couldn't take 200 people in it, you know. Like let me put that into context. A galleon has about a crew of 200s. Galleons are fucking 600 feet long or something. They're enormous. Fucking enormous. Maybe they're not that big, but they're enormous.
Yeah,
Um,
I was.
to make a so how many people are you trying to transport through it? Because if you're trying to transport a whole army through, it's going to cost $1 million gold pieces. It's going to be it's going to be a machine the size of a great worm, bigger than a great.
So I wasn't trying to make it that big. I was trying to keep it at the same carrying capacity, around 8 crew and 10 passengers as a
Oh yeah,
starlet, as the
yeah.
storage capacity. Because the main thing I'm worried about is storage for food and keeping that safe, and also a
Okay.
point where the party can make plans and stuff
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
safely.
sure. So it's still a pretty big vehicle, but a lot more feasible, a lot more possible. So yeah, you've worked on a machine that has a crew of about 10 and a storage capacity of a few tons. Yeah, no problem.
the underminer.
Yeah. I feel like that would also dissuade, especially if we had like smaller ones or something, dissuade the predators of the Anarok Desert.
Cool.
Because if I was an animal or even a monster, and I heard this like going at the same level at a pretty good speed, I'd been like, "What the fuck is that?"
So do we land?
So we
Or
land. That's right. And yeah, if you want, you can deliver your report to the princess now, if you want, and we can jam it into 5 or 10 minutes. or we can leave it for next week, whatever you prefer.
Why don't we do the report and ask to be teleported and start at Rabbiton or wherever?
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
Yeah. So all right. So the princess is delighted. She's the idea that Vandergast might have taken the baby and is hiding him in the Stormhaunts is not a new one to her. That's not a new idea for her. They remain deeply skeptical, particularly her advisor Kaladne, for the reasons that we've already addressed. You know, like why not just reveal him? And but the answers to that, maybe he doesn't trust us, are things that they've also considered as well. So this isn't, on one hand, it isn't new information, but on the other hand, there is it's valuable all the same, right? Because it confirms two things for them. First of all, confirms that they're not in Westgate, and that the people who know Westgate don't know where he is. That's confirmation of something. It's confirmation that he's not there and that his presence is not known by the people who are there. So it doesn't tell them where they are, but it does tell them where he isn't. And second, the idea that he might be with Vendergast in the Stormhorns is, as I said, something they already have considered. But the fact that the Duke of Whispers thought it was a legitimate possibility, in fact, a likelihood, further reinforces something for them. Again, it's a lack of evidence, but it's useful all the same. And third, they hadn't heard that other rumor that he might have been stashed in the Pirate Isles, or that the cult of the Black Leopard and the Red Wizards are looking for him there. This is news to her, news to them, and so we rule out two possibilities, add a new possibility that they didn't know about, or rather rule out one possibility, confirm the suspicions that they already had, and add a third possibility. So it's so yeah, you've done your job. She sent you to Westgate to learn what Westgate knows. You found out everything that they do know, and we're either no closer to the finding, or we're either closer to finding the king, or we're no worse off than we were before, and are able to rule something out. So it's valuable to them. It's useful.
Good.
And can we fast travel to Rabbiton?
Absolutely. And yeah.
Can Artisan fast travel to the Hap and begin doing his work with the dwarves there?
Yep. We travel up to Half-Hap, drop off the robot, and keep going. Cool. And as for Rabbiton, we will leave that for next week, and that's where we will start. Upon reaching the barony at last.
This is why I don't turn up next week.
Haha! Which is what happened last time. We were ready to go there, and you weren't here.
Well, the session was fun as always. Say goodbye to the internet. Bye, internet.
Right.